I just realized why his name was Nikocado. Avocado, because vegan avocado.
Me too.
As I mentioned already, it's very hard to believe anything that comes out of his mouth.
Well, if you don't believe what comes out of his mouth, wait until you see what goes in it. For $10.99, I remember I would sit down and watch My 600-Pound Life with like a bucket of Popeyes, not KFC. KFC is mid, and I'm just going, oh, at least I'm not that guy.
He would have segments where he rides it before certain mukbang videos and would use the
really plays up that side. I swear to God, there's probably dudes beating their to death watching this. This is crazy. I'm not. This is, by the way, this isn't like a self-report. I'm not saying that I would do that.
Well, it's simple. His YouTube channel was nothing more than a way to recruit very specific people with deep pockets to none other than his adult content.
Papa God, you did it again. You called it. We're going to get this party started, guys. All right, August has been telling me, demanding of me, insisting to me that I watch this Nikocado. Got to be safe. I cannot say Nikocado too quickly, or else somebody will get me. Anyway, she's been insisting we watch it, and why not? I mean, it looks interesting. This is also, this is my younger brother. I think he looks younger. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We're gooning too hard. Let's check this out. It's called A Deep Dive into the Unforgivable Sins of Nikocado. 2 steps ahead in all the wrong ways from Mujin. Hopefully I said that right. Let's go. Let's just get it going.
All right. So it's been a little while now since Nikocado Avocado broke the internet.
Say it slower. Say it slower.
By releasing his video titled 2 Steps Ahead, in which he...
Yeah, where is he fat? I can't tell. Somebody said that he might still be fat. I don't really understand what's happening. It's very confusing.
Revealed to us that he had done the impossible. He had lost all his weight.
Yeah, he had used Ozempic, I think. Ozempic, am I right?
But did so over the span of 2 years while uploading a huge backlog of content, tricking the entire internet. But now it's been around a couple weeks since it was released, so I ask you this question: has the shock subsided yet? Can we talk about how his weight was never the problem?
Well, it's not great. Didn't he like always have some kind of eating disorder? Like even back in the day, he was like he was like super skinny and like vegan. He talked about it, and he wasn't getting the right nutrients, and like he ended up getting sick from that as well. I think that was like a legitimate thing, if that was a problem for him too.
I mean, seriously, have we forgotten who this person is? Or did that many new people find him thinking this is some sort of a redemption story? Yes.
Maybe. I mean, maybe what he did wasn't that bad. I don't really know.
The weight loss is very impressive, of course. But why are...
RFK wants to destroy Ozempic? Shit, I need Ozempic, dude. I use it. I'm fat and I have diabetes.
People making it out to be like he was born this way, like he was being bullied for something that he couldn't control. All of this was self-inflicted. He claims that this is all a social experiment. Yeah, sure, if it was a botched social experiment. This monologue...
Well, isn't he like, he's one of like the last remnants of just like an insane reality TV show-esque viewing of himself, no?
Of him saying he's 2 steps ahead while being severely overweight in 2022 wasn't even the first time he hinted at this. And let's not forget the real-world damage he has caused to both his audience and other content creators. Excusing that as a social experiment just sounds like a prankster from 2015.
Based?
But here's the thing. I still believe that he was 2 steps ahead, not in regards to his weight, not in regards to this botched social experiment, but in terms of something else. How his YouTube channel was never about mukbang. No, it was about something way more sinister, a way to attract certain people to consume a different type of content.
You mean like a little, like some saucy content? Is that what you're referring to, sir?
We'll be talking about Nikocado Avocado like no one on YouTube has ever done before. So strap in, say goodbye to your innocence, and let's do this.
Cool. Sowing the seeds of
our story begins in Ukraine, out of all places.
All right. Oh, what?
Where Nicholas Perry, otherwise known as Nikocado Avocado, was born. He was adopted by an American couple who then went back to their home state of Pennsylvania and raised him there. He then went on to do a variety of different things before starting his YouTube channel. For example, he majored in violin performance in college and even performed at Carnegie Hall.
Wow.
Pretty damn big deal. He was even interviewed.
I mean, that's impressive. What's going on with how come he's not, why don't you just stick to that, buddy?
And said that this opportunity fulfilled every musician's dream. Between 2011 and 2012, he made a living as a freelance violinist and a Home Depot worker, and moved to New York City in 2013 to pursue his dream of playing in a Broadway orchestra. But he found it difficult to fulfill this dream when there were so many other talented musicians competing with him. This was also around the time where he would decide...
Hey, you know what? Maybe that's a good thing. A little bit of competition never hurt anybody, am I right? Except for that one girl, that ice skater that got her leg broken. I forget her name.
To become a vegan. He would meet his future partner and husband, Orlin Home, on a Facebook...
Wow, he's also very skinny. Well, I guess they're really happy together if they gain so much weight, no?
A group for vegan men. This is when Orlin would encourage him to come to Colombia and live with him, and Nick did exactly that.
Okay.
Orlin actually was the one to encourage Nick to make his own YouTube channel back in 2014, and he did. He'd go on to make videos.
Oh, you know, this is you're gonna make fun of me for this. I just realized why his name was Nikocado, Avocado, because vegan avocado. Wow, smart guy.
Centered around his style, and would also upload violin covers. Cool. I would argue that the first major turning point in Nick's life wasn't when he created the YouTube channel, but when he made this video titled Why I'm No Longer a Vegan YouTuber. This is his oldest video on the channel from September 2016. All the other older videos of him being a vegan and playing the violin have been privated. Guys, this could not be a more normal video. He's out here talking about his experiences with veganism, how it started to affect his health, his opinions on it, the people who influenced him to finally take this decision. It was a very well thought out conversation, and he made a lot of good points. You know, back then YouTube was actually very different. Many of the top YouTubers were converting to veganism and were absolutely imploring their followers to do the same. It felt like a Scientologist cult. So,
well, I guess that was the fad back then, huh?
he was one of the first people to go against the grain, and it performed very well. Even though most of his followers were vegan and were following him for vegan content, he still made it a point to explain his point of view without throwing them under the bus, while acknowledging their choices and telling them that this was his choice. His channel was more centered on lifestyle, and sometimes maybe featured recipes and eating, but it wasn't a full-fledged mukbang channel until he started with the cheesiest mac and cheese video right here.
It was kind of good. I could use it. Well, I couldn't use it. I want it. But I shouldn't because I'm so fat, you know what I mean? I gotta be better about my eating protocols, you know?
This video was very significant, not just because he was renouncing veganism, but
it's crazy because I couldn't do, I don't understand how mukbang people do it, mostly because like I don't understand how you handle the heartburn. You know, I mean, I already don't like being so full I want to explode. I eat, like I overeat, but I can't overeat to the point where I want to throw up. I just can't do it anymore. I don't have it in me. But I don't understand how you don't get such bad heartburn. It messes me up so bad, it makes me not want to eat.
But because this was when he would start making
obviously it doesn't work, but
mukbang videos. And he was one of the first American men to do so. Mukbang is a concept that was born in South Korea in the early 2010s. It's about someone sitting in front of a camera, eating, and talking to the audience, socializing with them. Nick's first mukbang...
Maybe I should do that, guys. You want me to sit in front of the camera and just start eating? I think everybody always talks about how much they like my, how much they like the chewing sounds that I make, no? Not everyone has heartburn. How are you fat and not get heartburn? That doesn't make any sense to me. Am I just cursed?
Did very well, and within 2 weeks had over 20,000 views. He saw an opportunity, so he kept going. He was incorporating meat into his diet, dairy, any products he wasn't able to eat during his many years as a vegan. But then, as you scroll down through his oldest videos, you will see the first turning point in his entire YouTube career, which led us here today, and that's the video titled, I Don't Want to Be Vegan Anymore. Cool. This is really interesting. At this point, he wasn't fat at all. And yet, I can see very big similarities between this thumbnail and something like this from 2020. And yet, I can see very big similarities between this thumbnail and something like this from 2020. He would have this technique where he would make his face more red than it actually is, always highlighting the same spots. You can see this in this thumbnail as well.
Yeah, it's like clickbait. Yeah, sure.
2 exaggerated red spots above his eyes, very red cheeks, and of course, the signature Nikocado avocado crying face.
Nikocado!
This video was a stark contrast from this video, where he was talking like a normal human being. This one was not only saying that veganism is bad, but straight up making vegans look bad, going up against them. As you can see from the like and dislike ratio, this wasn't received very well, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, that makes sense considering his whole channel was vegan. But again, I think he had some kind of health problem, no? Wasn't that like why he decided to go in that direction?
Most of his audience at the time was still vegan, and he was practically insulting every single one of them. He even doubles down here and makes another video, even longer, called Why Veganism is Wrong and Makes People Go Crazy. Yet again, taking the same approach with him.
Wow, he must have had a really good interaction with that, huh?
Him crying, making these faces, and demonizing all his vegan viewers, saying that he's been receiving a lot of hate comments ever since he stopped being vegan and that he can't handle it anymore. The thing with Nick at this point is that he was only testing the waters. He was curious. He knew drama sold on YouTube, but he wanted to see how far he could push it, and well, it worked very well. More than he could have ever imagined. He was able to measure this level of success when the Daily Mail would make an article just about him, titled YouTube star made famous for eating vegan food on camera breaks down in tears during a bizarre video rant renouncing veganism and insisting it is wrong and makes people go crazy. He loved it so much that he made an entire video just reading through it and talking about it. This to him was his eureka moment. Like, oh my god, I know what to do now. This is easy as hell. I'm gonna keep—
Yeah, I mean, why not? What are you gonna do? Sit there and make vegan lifestyle content? Come on. The only thing gayer than that is being Nikocado Avocado.
Keep doing these over-dramatized videos from time to time, and I'm going to keep eating a lot of meat to piss off the vegans so that they keep talking about me, and that's exactly what he did. You can see this in his videos. You would scroll down, you'd see him eating stuff, being happy, smiling, and then all of a sudden, Breaking Vegan, the benefits of eating meat again. Yet another inflammatory title towards the vegan community. Same type of thumbnail, where he's looking like he's about to break down crying. You scroll down some more, and then you see, my compulsive eating, not appropriate for children. You scroll down some more, and then you see,
why would it not be appropriate for children? What is he doing to the food? What?
I'm sorry, I was wrong. Again, same type of thumbnail. And just judging by the views, there is a stark contrast between the upload before it and after it. And for the most part, it was harmless. This was only limited to himself, and this wasn't the first time someone on YouTube back then was making content like this. One of the best examples of this was Boogie2988. He would play a character called Francis, your stereotypical fat gamer with anger issues, and he would get a lot of views thanks to this. Nikocado was essentially taking a page from his playbook. But one thing you need to really understand about Nikocado Avocado, or just Nicholas Perry, is that he is never satisfied. Every time he reaches a higher level, he asks himself, okay,
I feel bad for his husband then, Jesus Christ.
How can I get even higher? This is when he would start to include Orlin, his partner, in this whole scheme. But here, in order to achieve a grander effect, he would start to blur the lines between fiction and reality. Before that though, the only interactions they'd have on his channel were positive. They were just filled with wholesomeness. For example, this video right here titled He Said Yes, Mukbang and Recipe would be when Orlin would finally propose to Nick in the cutest way possible. Guys, you have to
with what? Spicy red? I don't understand. What's okay.
Watch this. It's adorable, especially since everything onwards will be terrible. No, but really, there's something important in this video that most people didn't really notice up until it was too late. Watch.
Well, that's really good for you. It's good for your skin and your hair.
Orlin, I'm like in the middle of playing. Hold on.
You love your hair. Your hair.
Hold on, let me play. I'm gonna play this, and then we can start. We just put that with the pasta.
No, we didn't know. It's really good for you. You really want this avocado. It's a special one.
Orlin, why are you being so weird? What's wrong with you?
Here. You really want this avocado. You really want it.
What are you doing?
It's an avocado.
How did you... What?
Will you marry me?
This seems so weird and uncomfortable and maybe fake. I don't know. This is so bizarre. What the fuck?
Isn't that just so wholesome? I'm sure.
Not really. I don't know. It just came off as uncomfortable and awkward to me. Is that just am I just cynical or something or what?
You're smiling right now, but I have news for you. It was all staged.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Oh, who would have thought? Who would have thought that one? Who would have thought that was staged? Who could have ever predicted that? Oh my goodness!
It was all fake. Orlin actually proposed to Nick in a national park in Colombia, and they just reenacted this whole proposal on the video because they thought it would be fun.
Yeah, I feel like anybody could have told that. Well, we're making it seem like it's a big fucking deal.
See, normally I would have sat here and thought, okay, well that's cute. I don't mind. It's whatever.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
then I have this realization.
What's
if they
that?
were such good actors back in 2017, then in
You think that was good acting? I'm confused, man. The fuck are you talking about?
this video posted in 2021, is there a single thing that's real here? Did they just become better actors? We'll get to that later. But you can see how quickly things evolved, and they hadn't even gained an unhealthy amount of weight yet. The happiness after this marriage proposal didn't really last long. In fact, it barely lasted at all. All the content involving Orlin after this would be mostly negative, with very few videos being positive. Nikocado Avocado would start posting videos of him complaining about his relationship with Orlin and how bad things were, saying that this is especially sad for him because they haven't even gotten officially married yet and doesn't know what to do. But this wasn't just an exaggerated character anymore. This wasn't just Francis from Boogie2988 being Nikocado Avocado. No, he would start to touch on some very dark topics, like how some of his attitudes toward Orlin would start to hurt him, how he was dealing with a lot mentally, how he was thinking of evaporating his soul out of his body and leaving.
Yeah, it's all probably all fake. I mean, his channel went from, hey, I'm a vegan, to just like this weird performative, I'm no longer a vegan thing. It's probably all fake. I doubt that they would be like having these public spats and like posting it. It's probably always for money. That's what all this used to be. I mean, like nowadays, I'd argue people are a bit more genuine than they were back in the day. But like, if you filter yesterday's content, we'll call it, through today, you're probably gonna go, "Oh, wait, this feels so fake." It's like, yeah, it is. That's like the whole thing. That's kind of the thing, man. Yeah.
Leaving the planet for good, if you get what I'm saying. If you were a viewer of his back then, you must have been so confused. It's like, what happened? This is when Nick would start to take full advantage of the compassion and empathy his audience had for him, and made it look so effortless in the process, as if he didn't care. And spoiler alert, he never cared. This is also when he would start to film himself gaining weight, saying things like, I don't know why I'm gaining weight. This is so weird. Filming all these angles of his body. You know, there's a reason he was doing this. Even back then, 7 years ago, he knew exactly what he was doing. And I would say that the people
Maybe he just liked getting fat. Maybe he was having fun, you know?
involved, the people encouraging this behavior, were already present back then. This is a very important video that serves as the first instance towards what Nikocado Avocado's channel would be for, his dark secret that many still don't understand.
Him being fat.
I will touch on this later in the video, but just bear in mind, this is when he would start to gain weight, in 2017. The weight gain back then, though, still wasn't really a concerning priority. Nick and Orlin had finally managed to get married by flying to the US and sealing the deal in a courthouse there. And people were hoping for the best. You know, they seemed happy. They went to Chick-fil-A afterwards as a middle finger to Chick-fil-A because they don't support gay marriage. And overall,
How does giving them money own them? I'm just curious. How does that work? How does that one work out? I'm curious.
the audience was nothing but happy for them. You know, the only dislikes I can think of are people coming years later or vegans at the time. There is, of course, a stark contrast, though, between the comments left 7 years ago being all positive and the comments left 2020 onward being all negative. And there's a reason for that, of course.
Yeah, because he started rage farming.
After the marriage, though, things between Nick and Orlin would only become more disturbing. In this video titled "Why We Broke Up," coming out of nowhere, it's like, wait, I thought you guys just got married. What happened? They talk about how they had broken up and just reunited together again. And in it, they touch on some pretty uncomfortable topics. For example,
Like butt sex? What?
And then he had another. You have another one? Well, you double dipped and you had a
There was
mutual
like
friend.
4 or 5 in DC.
4 or 5, yeah.
Dude, I was like, whoa.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he did a bunch of guys. He double dipped. Oh my god. I don't know, man. I know gay people. Sometimes they're a little more open to that kind of stuff than other people. You know, I don't. Whatever. I think it's just dudes. I think dudes are a little chill. They're chiller. You know, they're just like, yeah, whatever. You could put it in my butt. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay, there was.
Oh, God.
here they're talking about how many people Nick had slept with while they were taking a quote-unquote break before getting back together. Now watch a bit more and tell me if you can notice something that is a bit obvious. Let's go.
And in New York, there was like 3 or 4. But by the time I got to London, I was just...
You tried to get like 2 in London, but it didn't work out.
No.
You tried to do one in Pennsylvania, 2 at our friend's house, and it also didn't work out.
My friend's house, who's one?
Our friend.
Oh.
You tried to do one there, but like...
Okay, I don't know if you noticed, but it's very obvious that everything here is made up. They're making numbers out of
Yeah, probably.
their asses, and they're sometimes like looking at each other like, oh, what do you mean? Oh, you mean that? Okay, so this is improv. They're acting, of course, throughout the years.
Ah, they got me. They tricked me. The liars, they tricked me, and I believed them.
Gotten so much better, but back then they still had a lot of work to do. The idea here was simple. Nick had seen how many views he was getting for acting all crazy and thought, you know what, the next level would be to have a crazy relationship, or to at least make it seem that way. This was nothing more than him trying to shock his audience with content not seen anywhere else on YouTube. But
I feel like this kind of content was seen everywhere on YouTube, no? Isn't this like, this was YouTube back then, I thought.
people at the time just couldn't tell. You know, there was a massive clue here. The fact that this was uploaded on April 1st, 2017, and still, people couldn't tell.
The meme itself.
The comments saying things like, the laughing from Orlin looks like it's a defense mechanism and he's just hurting. For some reason, Orlin strikes me as someone with zero confidence. It's really sad. He seems nice, but in a pitiful way. Cheating is disgusting and inexcusable, period. So far, Nick had already done many videos complaining and crying about
Period, sister.
Orlin and how he doesn't want him anymore, about how bad he thinks he is and how he can't live with himself anymore. And the audience believed it. Why wouldn't they? The reason they must have started watching Nick back then was because, unlike other YouTubers, he was actually honest about veganism. He was someone who would share his ups and downs. He would sit there and eat food and talk about his life and stories that he had gone through. People saw him as a friend they could trust. So at this point, yes, this could have genuinely been an April Fool.
Yeah, this was the massive clickbait era of YouTube. Yeah, this was when like Jerry Springer was big, right? This is what people thought YouTube was going to be. This was when it was just like a silly little, like basically a pseudo prank platform, right? Like this is pretty typical stuff, right? Like we're not super surprised by this, right? I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think we were at all.
Fool's joke by these two. Maybe they were genuinely planning on uploading a video the next day saying that this was a prank, clarifying things. But I think seeing the attention they were receiving and seeing the types of comments that were being left on the video only made Nikocado Avocado want to keep going. Why ruin the illusion? Why make people think that they were stupid? Why give that to people? There was simply no reason to anymore. Nick would keep growing, reaching 500,000 subscribers by 2018, but would keep the same strategy going. A lot of mukbangs, and then tragic news, him crying again on the thumbnail. A lot of food, and then all of a sudden, he broke my heart. This video was very significant because this was the first time we saw Nick in such a state. He was shirtless, clearly, having gained weight, not hiding it, ugly crying throughout the video, and gorging his mouth with food. But the very sensitive topics would continue. He said that every day I have to wake up and hope that Orlin hasn't died, and starts
What?
to talk about some sort of autoimmune disease he has that could take his life at any time.
Oh, I doubt it. I mean, he might have an autoimmune disease. I don't think that would take your life at any time, though. That seems a little silly, but okay.
Again, just picture yourself as an audience member, someone who watches him for his mukbang content, who likes to listen to his stories, to what he has to say, and then you see this. At a certain point, his audience had lost track of what's real and what isn't, what's factual and what's fiction. No one knew. Genuinely no one knew. Because why the hell would anyone do this to themselves? Why would you cry on camera and post it? Why would you gain so much weight and show it off? It just didn't make any sense. At this point, he wasn't...
I mean, honestly, maybe they have like a feeder thing going on. Maybe they're like feeders, and they're footers. No, it's feeders. Maybe they enjoy like the feeding content or something. That's a thing, no?
Doubling down or tripling down or quadrupling down or quintupling down. He was sextupling down, okay? There are 6 videos of this type uploaded in quick succession.
Sex is cool.
With most of them being filmed in the same room. He broke my heart. He broke up with me on Instagram. The reason why my husband left me. I've had enough with him holding a knife. My ex-husband forced me to delete this, not for kids. Catching my husband going behind my back, deleted video. Oh, and of course...
Guys, this is real.
Of course, we can't forget our final video together, making it seem like they're actually breaking up. The views don't lie, they speak for themselves. And we can also see part of Nikocado's strategy here that wasn't obvious back then, the fact that he
I feel like it had to have been so goddamn obvious, no?
He records a lot. I don't think it's crazy to say that all 3 of these videos were recorded in the same day. He had found a formula, and it was working, but it was leaving his audience in the dark. People didn't know whether to be concerned or worried about his health, about his safety, if they needed to call the cops, if they needed to contact authorities. But of course, just like...
I bet everybody was sitting there eating it up. This was like their thing. They were eating it all up, baby.
Any videos, any content creator on YouTube, there were people there that were laughing their asses off over his ugly crying and how he wasn't making any sense. He simply wouldn't stop. More videos of him ugly crying and videos of him complaining about his appearance. Again, showing off his body, showing off his double chin, showing off his evolution. But then you'd randomly see Orlin eating food with him. People didn't know what to think. Nikocado Avocado would keep growing and even reach 1 million subscribers, continuing to do what he's been doing for the last couple of years and not showing any sign of stopping. In fact, he would take the decision to turn it up a notch. This time to a turning point for many. In the video, Nobody Likes Me, I'm Done, he just sat there crying, not saying a single word. He was just crying. Nothing made sense. He had noodles with eggs in front of him. He took out a razor and shaved his hair onto the food. But to make matters even weirder, he would smear the eggs on his face and then attach the hair on himself to make himself seem like he had some sort of a beard. And the video just ended there. This video was too much, even for someone like Nikocado. His audience had been dealing with a lot of clickbait, with a lot of things they didn't know whether to believe or not, but to many, this was actually a turning point. Many chose to not support him anymore or just watch him to see how far he'd go down the rabbit hole. To many, this was someone losing his mind. But he wasn't. The signs were there. The video right afterwards is called Chick-fil-A with my ex-boyfriend, his first time mukbang. And just watch.
What the fuck is this? Is that the same guy? That guy looks insane. He looks preposterous. Is this real? Is this Orland or is this a different person? Or is that Orland in makeup? I'm so confused.
This clip. It'll make sense.
I mean, I shaved my head completely once.
See,
Is that a girl? Is that a boy? I'm so fucking confused.
you can relate to the video. You had a Britney Spears moment too. I think we all.
Yeah, but I didn't cry and scrape an egg to my face.
I don't know about you, but if I was having a breakdown and was genuinely losing my mind, I wouldn't be laughing at this in the video right after it.
You might be. All jokes aside, you might think it's a little bit funny. Like later on, I don't know. What is that? Laughing through your bullshit or whatever the fuck it is? Laughing at your own trauma, blah, blah, blah. You know, jerk me off kind of bullshit.
It was clear that even back in December 2018, this was nothing more than a way for him to get views and clickbait. He didn't take it seriously, and he didn't really care about anyone concerned about him. He was just doing it for the attention. But this is yet another
Well, yeah, probably.
turning point. Not because of how crazy this video was, but because making content on himself and Orlin just wasn't enough anymore. He needed to include other people. And this is where things really started to get out of hand. More so than he could have ever bargained for.
Oh, Jesus. Just like that Fall Out Boy song.
Now, every once in a while on YouTube, you have a drama that occurs that is so big, so earth-shattering that it becomes an integral part of YouTube history. One of those dramas were back in 2018 involving one of, if not the biggest English-speaking mukbanger at the time by the name of Veronica Wang. As you can
That's like a wiener.
see at the time, she could make a video of her eating a lot of noodles and she would get over 10 million views. She would get millions of views like it was nothing. She made it look easy. But how did it all begin? Well, as mukbang was becoming more and more mainstream, you started to have meme channels. They would take out-of-context clips from long mukbang videos and make meme edits out of them. And they were pretty damn popular. This one, for example, sitting at 4.1 million views, highlighting how in a mukbang collab with another mukbanger by the name of Stephanie Soo, Veronica wasn't listening to the conversation at all and was just focused on the food. Now, at the center...
I mean, that seems like that's typically my main objective when I'm eating food, you know?
Center of this drama was a meme channel like this by the name of Mukbang, sitting at 44,000 subscribers at the time, so significantly smaller than Veronica Wang. Look, this whole incident can be summed up very easily. Veronica Wang ended up striking 2 videos from Mukbang's channel after saying that she liked the edits. It didn't make any sense. It later turned out that she considered these videos to be a form of cyberbullying and argued that she was receiving hate comments purely because of them. She defended herself in the worst ways possible, throwing her friends under the bus and throwing her audience under the bus too. She did.
Well, I mean, that's obviously silly. I mean, it's good attention for people to meme you up a little bit, but at the same time, like, I guess I can understand why you'd feel that way, because they're all poking fun at you, but okay.
Every wrong thing imaginable from a PR standpoint. She really screwed up royally. Compared to other dramas on YouTube, it was so petty, but it still blew out of proportion because this was the mukbanger community's first major drama of this scale. This is when many would turn on Veronica wholeheartedly, but at the same time, this was when Nikocado Avocado would see an opportunity. He saw a way bigger creator get a lot of hate, so he jumped on the bandwagon and made himself the defender of the smaller creators.
What an opportunist, huh?
Mukbang had made a video exposing Veronica Wang and the fact that she had striked their channel 2 times.
And you want to know what? I don't even think she has one. I don't think she has a Wang.
On the video, he wrote this very well thought out comment in which he called out Veronica for being a weird two-faced liar, saying she liked the videos and then striked them shortly after, and made the comparison, saying, I am the most targeted and made fun of. Literally hundreds of videos made about me, we all know this, but I don't strike them with false copyright complaints. I don't disable my comments either. People are entitled to their own opinion. So Veronica gets her first one made about her. Literally, I've never seen a video made about her before, and she nearly bans you from YouTube completely? That's awful. And then ends this by saying, and before any of you say I'm creating drama, all of this was done publicly by her. Everybody is able to respond or react to what she has already disclosed publicly. No hate to anybody, just my honest thoughts. So as I said, this was a very easy stance to take. Veronica was going on a complete crash out. She even commented on this video herself, doubling down.
Hey, listen, those are the best types of dramas, man. When you when you come out of it easily looking good, you know? It's like, look at this fucking idiot. We've all been there, baby.
And not apologizing. She just couldn't stop sabotaging herself and genuinely thought she was in the right. She would keep doubling down and go live on Instagram to defend herself further. Nick wouldn't leave her alone though. He'd still be there, publicly calling out her hypocrisy for everyone to see. Similarly to the Mr. Beast drama going on in 2024, this incident was so massive that it had created careers. Many channels were talking about it. But more importantly, Nick was understanding very quickly that this was the way to go. This was the next logical evolution of his character. But this time, instead of limiting it to himself and his marriage, it would be about other YouTubers. This was a net positive for Nikocado Avocado. He had witnessed growth and at the same time, a change in public opinion. People were starting to like him more and more. He had made this video right here called Veronica Wang Attacks Me and Spreads Nasty Lies.
So with all this going on, where does it get to the point where he's like mean to her or something? I don't know. I heard somebody say something along the lines of the bear that he has on, that is somehow like a disrespectful tactic or something. I don't really understand. And then people were upset with him because apparently he wronged her in some way. I don't really get it.
And the views speak for themselves. This was on his second channel, and this was a great way for him to grow that second channel as opposed to the first channel. And let's not forget the very positive like to dislike ratio, something Nick was not used to at all. He would make yet another video about Veronica Wang on his second channel. Things were going really well for him, so it only made sense that he'd want more of this content. He ended up getting exactly that, this time him being at the center of the drama and it being on a way larger scale. A few months after this drama, Nikocado would get into yet another drama, this time directly with the YouTuber Trisha Paytas.
Oh my god. Oh, the queens of YouTube, man. We had our Trisha Paytas arc. I'm happy that we've moved on. What a wild time, man. What a wild time. You unironically used to watch Steph Noodle's videos on all the mukbang drama all the time. That's so funny. You know, I didn't really think about that, but there's really not as much drama going on in these communities anymore. I mean, at least I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. But it doesn't really seem like there is. It seems like there's lol cows in communities that people like to relentlessly bully, but that's pretty much it.
This is someone who has been nothing but controversial her entire career. And what she actually did to Nikocado Avocado was wrong. There was petty drama going on between them, right? Whatever. But Trisha released their conversations after editing things that Nick said and editing things that she said, trying to make him look bad. All Nick had to do was just show the original receipts. That's it. That's all he had to do. And he won the battle of public opinion. People were completely...
Wow, what is that, an iPhone 4? What the fuck is this?
on his side. This was yet again a net positive for him. Again, the views speak for themselves, and the like to dislike ratio also speaks for itself. Things were going great, and he wasn't about to stop anytime soon. He hadn't made just one video on Trisha, he had made 3. He was milking this like crazy, and why wouldn't he? This was bringing traction to his entire channel. This drama content would continue with him sipping on tea, calling it tea mukbang, and it was doing wonders to both his channel and his reputation. He was starting to like this. He probably thought to himself that, man, I can get used to this. Until he flew too close to the sun, much like Icarus in Greek mythology.
Or some people like to say he gooned. He gooned too close to the sun, of course. At least that's what educated people like to, they like to say.
Burning his wings off due to being overly confident and cocky, and having everything he has done so far backfire on him horribly, more than he could have ever.
I would have been eating so good during this era. Shit, maybe I should have just stuck with that, huh? Should have just done more silly little drama.
Imagine.
But I don't know, man. I feel like it's so funny. It's one of the, if not the most toxic community I've ever seen in my life. It's insane. Unhinged.
On December 21st, 2019, Stephanie Soo would upload the video titled Why I Am Scared of Nikocado Avocado with a very concerning thumbnail of her crying. Even worse.
Well, I mean, don't they all do this? Isn't this the same as when Nikocado does the same fucking thing? Oh, I have fart poop, and then right, like he puts a bunch of like a red filter over it, and he's crying in the thumbnail. It's really not that big of a deal. It's priming your audience. It's her being just as catty and trying to get back at him, which, by the way, I support the move. I'm just saying.
Worse, the video starts off in a very concerning way that makes you think the worst has happened. Watch.
In and out of sleep.
In and out of sleep.
Hopefully you can trust me now.
I do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do.
Good.
Well, me
What the fuck's happening?
too movement.
Hashtag me too.
What the? Okay.
Hi.
Yeah, people were very concerned about this intro. It was implying many bad things.
Yeah, like he raped her. That's what the Me Too means. Me as well, guys.
So what the hell happened? Here's how it all started. Stephanie admired Veronica. In fact, she had shouted her out at some point in one of her videos, and this was a
Oh wait, Stephanie, someone different from Veronica? That's not going to look good for the racism allegations, because they're both Asian.
dream come true for Stephanie. At some point, they were finally able to meet up and do a collab together. The meme video I showed you earlier was actually
Oh, they do look different. Okay, you know what? Shut up.
from that first collab of theirs. During this collab, though, Stephanie realized fairly quickly that her and Veronica were fairly different. Their personalities weren't as compatible.
I also realized... Wow, I also realized the same thing. Incredible.
As she had hoped, and that was fine. She still loved her, she had no hard feelings against her. Stephanie would later on form a friendship with Nick, and he made her feel like she could tell him anything. He had made her feel very comfortable. Anytime she'd have something she was awkward about or felt weird about, he would tell her, no, don't worry. I also feel the same way.
Wow, he's almost a straight guy.
She truly felt like she had found a kindred spirit in the mukbang community. To really emphasize just how much she trusted him and felt comfortable around him, she told him something that she doesn't usually tell anyone, which is the fact that she had gotten SA'd a couple years ago.
Wow, okay. Well, that's a pretty intense little trauma dump in there.
This level of comfort allowed her to vent to him freely. She told him about how her experience with Veronica was exhausting, how she cared more about dyeing her hair pink than collabing together, how she had to drive her around town just to find a hairstylist that would do it. In her mind, it was just an innocent little vent.
Okay, whatever.
In Nick's mind, it was a content goldmine. Another video with 1 million views that...
Wait, did he decide to take advantage of what's going on here and like talk about this? This is interesting.
made him look good. So in 2019, Nick would come to LA to collab with both Stephanie Soo and another very big ASMR mukbanger by the name of Zach Choi. Stephanie
Why are so many ASMR people Asian? I don't understand it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, guys, okay? Leave me alone. I'm just saying it's peculiar to me. It's very interesting. Like, I don't quite understand that. But okay.
would argue that Nikocado is a manipulator, that he had made her feel comfortable around him, and then as soon as he saw an opportunity, he struck. To justify this, Stephanie would use definitions such as gaslighting in juxtaposition to what she was talking about. The whole idea here is that he wanted to manipulate her in order for her to talk or quote-unquote spill the beans about Veronica on his channel while they were filming his mukbang video. He kept pressuring her in a very weird and pushy, awkward way in front of the camera, and she would do her best to react to it while deflecting to the best of her ability.
You want to share, or do you change your mind now?
I just feel like
You said you wanted to talk to your viewers with me here, because you never talked to any of your viewers.
And I just remember feeling just shocked because the way
The important thing to note here is that half of Stephanie was confident she had never told him she wanted to talk about it in public, and the other half was being gaslit so hard that she didn't even know whether to believe herself or Nick. Anytime she would
Wow, what a gaslighter.
try to kind of awkwardly move on from the topic, he would visibly be angry, and to her, that made her panic and be very uncomfortable because before the filming of this video, this dude was one of her closest friends in mukbang. They would film 2 videos that day, and they still had a third one to film the next day. She couldn't really sleep. She
Oh yeah, I forgot they did a whole backlog thing, which is very clever. But okay.
was having panic attacks. That was the whole point of this footage you saw in the beginning of the video. This implied something way worse, but it was just her partner calming her while she was crying. So she woke up very late, around 3 p.m., and let both Zach and Nick know that, hey, listen, I can't make it. I'm really sorry, but I'm really glad we were able to film some things yesterday. There's one thing I want you to really remember here. It's her saying, I've been in and out of sleep all afternoon after staying up late after getting back. The phrase, in and out of sleep. All right? Keep that in mind. By that point,
yeah,
while
it's
she
in
was
my mind,
sleeping,
buddy.
Nick had called her repeatedly, multiple times, and he was pissed at the fact that she just now messaged him, saying that he's been sitting there for 5 hours, and that when she was going in and out of sleep, she should have picked up her phone and called. He does not understand. Even
True, I agree with that. You know, if you're gonna cancel your plans, don't be a poo-poo wiener.
adding you didn't like it when Veronica did that to you, further hinting that he wanted her to talk about this publicly, and that she was no better than someone she complained about. She
That's shitty, but also, you know, be better with your plans, guys, okay?
again apologizes profusely. She's very sorry. She really can't state this enough. I mean, look at all this text, man. It's crazy. But Nick was not having
Yeah, I'm not reading that, dude. Like a woman? The joke is women are smart and like to read. So, don't try to get at me on that one.
any of it. He just said, I've messaged you privately. And she argues that he just wanted to isolate her from Zach. She kept apologizing, and then there was this weird thing where
It's because mukbang started in Korea. It's a Korean thing. Yeah, but
Yeah,
are they all Korean? I can't tell. Listen, I can't necessarily tell if they're from Korea or not. Maybe I don't really understand how that works. So
completely flipped the switch, and it seemed like he was in a different personality state. She proposed to do it again while he was still in LA because he was leaving soon, and Nick just said, awesome. So which day would you like to reschedule for? While this was happening, he had posted an Instagram post saying, I'm this effing close to making an exposing video. Should I? What the F is wrong with people? So rude and so inconsiderate.
True.
I posted on a story making some tea, you guys. You won't believe the audacity people have, but I have a lot of receipts and audio clips. So at this point, he was so drama hungry that he was ready to create drama with just about anyone that he had any issue with, putting their career on the line and making it seem like it was all one big game. This isn't just him playing a character anymore, this is him putting other people's careers in jeopardy just because he was lacking bombshell content. And even worse, he was a straight up bully. Remember the phrase, in and out of sleep? He would just straight up post this on his Instagram story with no context. It was just an inside joke between him and his friends, referencing Stephanie Soo's message. He would tag all his friends right here. You have Trisha, because they made up afterwards, Eric the Electric, Orlin, and a bunch of other big mukbangers that were his friends. Even worse, he would start to mention it in his videos.
I was telling him a story about someone who, something happened, someone did something to me, and there was just a lot that broke my spirits. And I was telling him the story, and one of the inside joke from that story was in and out of sleep. And you don't understand, but then I told a few other YouTubers, I tagged them on Instagram, as well as my friends, and they all know. I was like, they know the story, and the major thing that they take away from that was the in and out of sleep.
In and out of sleep.
I've just been in and out of sleep, and I don't know what's going on, but I got things to do. I got things to do.
Have you been in and out of sleep?
In and out of sleep.
they're really memeing her on this in and out of sleep thing.
Oh my gosh. In and out of sleep right now.
They're like, what the that is the most obnoxious, bizarre thing they've ever heard. Like, what the
Is that person also in and out of sleep? I don't know. Okay.
In and out of sleep, we turned something that really bothered me into something that we could laugh about. When we were at the club, I'm telling you, I
When we're at the club, we're all fam.
should have put this on YouTube. But also, I mean, it's just you have to laugh about things to get over things. That's just what I believe.
True.
Well, it's us
Seems like he's really going in on this joke though, a little hard.
four plus the gay couple, the gay married couple, and the girl and the gay guy. So it's all like 12 of us. We're all sitting together and we're like, in and out of sleep.
In and out of sleep.
In and out of sleep.
In and out of sleep. And then the people around us, in and out of sleep. In and out of sleep. And me and Honey started bawling with tears running down. We're like,
In and out. In and out. In and out.
oh my God, it was so funny. And we're like, in and out of sleep. In and out of sleep. Oh my gosh.
So I know that people these days are
Jesus Christ. He's really going in on this whole in and out of sleep thing. I mean, I understand that his friend fell asleep and missed one of their things. And, well, it seemed like because he was being too pushy when it came to her private experience, right? But I understand he's like irritated by that or whatever. But like, you're gonna make fucking merchandise about that? That is Nikocado is like a legitimate bully. Jesus Christ.
Offended very easily. But here's the thing: even if you were to go back to the Modern Warfare 2 lobby days where anything could have been said, I think.
Oh yeah, we used to say some wild stuff. Not we, other people used to say some wild stuff, guys. It's so crazy. Not me. I was always against that kind of stuff.
If you were to be in high school or college back then and you had something like this happen to you, it would still be considered bullying. Stephanie had felt uncomfortable around Nick. She gave an excuse the next day that she was
Why? Is she homophobic? Am I right, guys? I'm woke.
And out of sleep, that she couldn't really sleep very well, that she couldn't make it. It happens all the time. And for him to take that phrase and not only spread it with his friends, but people in the mukbang community, people, influential people, and even mention it in his videos, that to me is the definition of bullying. And no, he can't just say,
how long did he put this joke on for? Was it like a long time?
This was a social experiment, this was a character, this is nasty. And as you can see from this right here, Stephanie actually ended up making merch that says in and out of sleep, and all the proceeds went towards stopping cyberbullying. Nikocado would reply with his own video called R.E. Stephanie Soo, released a week afterwards, and within the first 5 minutes it only made him look worse. One of the things that Stephanie was alleging was that he impeded on the privacy of her own home by taking pictures without her knowing when she went to the bathroom.
What? Why would he do that? Wait, what the fuck? Sorry.
She was alleging was released a week afterwards, and within the first 5 minutes it only made him look worse. One of the things that Stephanie was alleging was that he impeded on the privacy of her own home by taking pictures without her knowing when she went to the bathroom.
I just don't understand why. I mean, if you like, it's never appropriate to ever do that, obviously, but like, you're gay. You know what I mean? Are you jerking off to it? I'm just confused.
She saw this on her camera feed, but couldn't really show it because it went against California state laws. Nick had shown that no, he never impeded on her privacy. He took a picture with her there. Everything was fine. You'll see later why that was not the case. He then said that no, actually, I wasn't gaslighting anyone. Stephanie told me that she wanted to talk about Veronica.
It's terrible. People used to gaslight my family all the time. Thank God the 1940s are over.
Publicly. He showed this message in August of her saying that she'd like to make a documentary of her to show the world that Veronica wasn't really that bad of a person. That even though she had struck Shookbang, people went way too hard on her. She really emphasized the fact that she wanted this to be drama-free. This is what Nikocado was talking about when he told her, but you wanted to spill the tea, but you wanted to talk about this. Why don't you want to talk about this on my video right now? But she had clearly told him by December that she didn't want to talk about it anymore, that this documentary was off the table. She changed her mind. He also says how he doesn't even like her, how he has to deal with her
oh my God, Jesus.
Because that's typically what you do in a job. To him, mukbang and collabs are just like having an office job. You sometimes...
Well, yeah, there's a level of truth to that, but how do you have that many different enemies? How bad could she be? Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, you know what? It's probably all like really hammed up. I mean, this is the problem, is that when you have the entire drama infrastructure created that incentivizes this behavior, what do you think is going to happen? Obviously, obviously it's going to get fucking crazy.
Have to work with people you don't like. It was a very shocking contrast with what Stephanie had said, that she considered him a very good friend to her, that she felt like she was safe with him. A few days later, she made a video called How Nikocado Manipulated All of Us on her main channel, and this is when she would destroy his reputation once and for all.
Why did she do that?
I'd say one of the biggest bombshells here is the fact that Zach Choi, who usually avoids drama, assisted Stephanie here by showing her what he was being sent by Nick, as Nick was saying, "Awesome, so which day would you like to reschedule for?" As he was sending this to her, 20 minutes before, he had sent this to Zach saying, "I am exposing her tonight." This pretty much confirmed to her that the post he had made on Instagram saying, "I'm going to expose someone soon," was about her. She also argued that the picture he took in her home wasn't what they agreed on. He had asked her if he could take a picture of her light setup because he loved it. She didn't even know she was going to be in the picture. She didn't agree.
I might be rating tonight. We'll see.
To this. And additionally, what's even worse is that he took a picture of her security setup. This is where she can see all the security cams in her house. This is something that you don't want to show to anyone who might have ill intentions towards her.
That's true. I mean, I imagine they have the security there so that, they can stay safe. So they probably don't even want people... Well, they probably want people knowing about it. Because, like, think about that. If somebody knows about it, they're less likely to attack you or whatever. But you don't really want to know where all the weak points are. Like, what is it looking at and what is it not looking at? Hopefully, it's not looking at my balls. Because then there'd be no room for anything else. They're so big. Incredible.
She decided to say, screw the California laws. I'm going to show a picture of him taking pictures of my place when I was in the restroom.
What's the California law? Why that would protect you taking pictures from girls and taking pee? And also, how is it that expensive to live in California?
But blurred so that he can't sue me. It says Nick is all alone while taking this pic. She would further prove that he's a hypocrite and a two-faced liar by showing the contradicting statements he made about meeting her for the first time in his R.E. Stephanie Soo video and in his videos beforehand. Watch.
This is not my fault. This is no one's fault but hers.
I think Stephanie's trying to capitalize on it. Remember what I said my first impression of Stephanie was? It was awesome, she was so nice, we went out to eat, we hung out for like 7 hours. She had like little gifts for me, she had like this nice little champagne and little snacks and a nice card. My first impression of Stephanie was very self-serving. I didn't give her a gift, we were just gonna hang out and get to know each other. That was my first impression, like warm and bubbly, gave me a hug, said hello. Very self-serving. Little welcome to Los Angeles gift for me, and I'm like, wow.
She seems like she would be a nice person.
Very.
So that's the truth.
So which one's the truth?
That's the thing. Which one's the truth? Again, is this the character he's playing?
I think the right one is R-Truth. That's a little reference to WWE wrestling. One of my favorite WWE wrestlers. The name of the person, R-Truth. I don't know if you guys caught that.
Who cares? The thing is, Nick was going up against people who are very easy to go up against. Veronica Wang, Trisha Paytas, they were both bigger content creators than him that were disliked in general. It wasn't hard to make them look bad. But this time he went up against someone that was way more than he could chew. He got backed into a corner and he couldn't do anything about it. He was essentially cooked. And while Nikocado Avocado as a brand was completely in the gutter now, all the work he had done to rebuild it by siding with the smaller creators and going up against the big bad guys was gone, I should mention that there were still people who criticized Stephanie Soo. A great example of this is Turkey Tom, with his video titled, "Stephanie Soo is lying to you."
Oh, Turkle Thomas.
The truth about mukbang. And this wasn't clickbait, by the way. This whole video goes against her, that her Why I'm Scared of Nikocado Avocado video was staged. She wasn't actually crying.
Well, probably was staged. That's just what they seem to just be going back and forth with this very petty bullshit. Though it seems like Nick started it.
She actually posed.
Dude, R-Truth is great. You remember when he was K-Swiss? I'm not even kidding. I know the lore.
For the thumbnail, this never happens in the video. She's doing this for attention, etc., etc. I think it's important to showcase all the opinions during a conflict, especially where you might have thought that this was very one-sided. While it might seem like this video is absolutely crazy, it's not, because as we'll see later, one of the people involved in this incident agrees with him. But the reason why I'm mentioning Turkey Tom's video is because there's a small clip here that I totally and wholeheartedly disagree with. I'll explain, but first, watch.
A lot has happened, and it's been really stressful.
If you're not already a fan of Stephanie, seeing these videos makes her seem a lot more sympathetic. And as for her fans, they're already bound to agree with what she says, especially based on the fact that her audience is relatively young. Her video reached more than 3
Isn't like everybody's audience relatively young online?
times her audience, making it very easy to paint herself as a different person than she is normally. Nick, meanwhile, is, well...
Top of his head.
There's just no way of getting
Hey, don't make fun of my head.
around the fact that Nick is overweight and constantly greasy. He doesn't come across as very attractive in his videos.
Look at his lips.
I like how he said it in his videos. Does he come across as attractive outside of the videos, or what?
He has multiple years cataloged on his channel of him behaving like a lunatic on camera, often throwing tantrums, crying, and appearing to be extremely unnerving to most viewers. This allows
Yeah, so far he sounds right, no?
Stephanie to take control of the narrative, merely based off of the fact that Nick is more outwardly weird, and has been involved in a lot of drama in the past. He was already basically a joke by the time that Stephanie's video was released. This made it all the more easy for her to accuse him of being a number of things that she didn't have proof for, and...
So this clip makes Nikocado Avocado out to be a victim. That just because he didn't have pretty privilege, Stephanie was able to accuse him of a number of things.
Well, I think it wasn't just pretty privilege. I think it's also because Nick is like a legitimately fucking weird person. I think that it was weird as fuck privilege, you know what I mean? But pretty privilege is a thing. There's a level of truth to that probably. I don't know enough about what's going on, nor do I care too much. This is just silly and fun to watch, you know what I mean? But there could be a level of truth to that. I have no idea.
Things and ruin his career. This is really interesting to me because it's almost like Tom is saying that he was forced to make these weird videos. No one forced him to make these videos. No one forced him to take advantage of his audience.
No, that's just like the content strategy he engaged with, which makes him look like a fucking weirdo.
For so long, blurring the line between reality and fiction like he's done for a while now. Yes, he's known for being involved in drama, but he always made it to the top of the drama. He always was getting a net positive out of this drama. Until someone that can articulate words better, someone who actually keeps receipts, showed up and showed the...
Is that redundant to say articulate words better? You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't you... Like, don't you just have to say articulate better? Am I just stupid?
World his true colors. This was never about how he looked, or how he spoke, or hell, about his weird-ass videos where he cuts his hair over noodles and eggs. This was over his actions towards another YouTuber, trying to make content out of someone else's career. But I will agree with Turkey Tom on one thing. It's that, yes, Nikocado Avocado's appearance is almost comical, but that only served to help him here. There's this meme that went viral recently, okay, where you see Why I'm Scared of Nikocado Avocado with Stephanie Soo literally on the brink of crying, and then on the bottom of the recommended you see our final video together, mukbang, and I mean, the thumbnail speaks for itself. It's a disaster. What I'm trying to say is that after this video blew over, after this whole drama blew over, people didn't really take her warning very seriously. I mean, are you kidding me? You're scared of this guy? Like, come on. This dude that eats all day, that speaks like a comic book character, that is completely out of his mind. Come on. To look intimidating and scary, to make me really kind of understand your viewpoint that he's manipulative, he would have to lose a lot of weight. He would have to look like this.
Whoa! He looks uglier than me.
In any case, this is probably the biggest turning point in Nikocado Avocado's entire career thus far. By this point, he understood how this game worked. There was no recovering from this.
Is Nicholas really this much of a mastermind, or is this guy just giving him too much credit? Because I feel like, is Nick really like that fucking crazy, where he's like that smart? I don't know. I just feel like maybe he's not. But maybe I'm just stupid.
He had messed with someone that he shouldn't have messed with. He completely overestimated just how much he could turn things around, and lost miserably. He was now officially the villain. And he played that role very easily because that's what he was essentially doing before getting into drama with other YouTubers. But just like everything with Nick, he needed to take it to the next level. And he took it to the next level, to the point where he started crossing lines that were never crossed before. This time, not taking advantage of himself and Orlin exclusively, not taking advantage of other YouTubers, no, he was done with that for the most part, but taking advantage of his most loyal audience members in some incredibly unethical theatrics. Losing the public image war against Stephanie Soo changed Nikocado Avocado forever. This could be seen with a video uploaded on his main channel called Nikocado Vegan Days vs. Now, just a few weeks after this whole drama had blown over. In it, you could see a direct comparison of how he used to be healthy on his vegan diet and how he is today, very unhealthy and overweight. Many people were confused at first because it seems like it was uploaded by someone else, not him, like a fan channel or someone concerned for his health. The description of this video doesn't seem like it was written by him. It goes like this. He deleted old footage and clips. Nobody's seen these videos before until now. This is Nikocado Avocado back in the vegan days versus now. Has Nikocado Avocado changed? Was he healthy? Was he attractive? Was he...
I don't think he was healthy. Again, I think that he had like some kind of deficiency. That's one of the reasons why he decided he was going to leave veganism, we'll say. Because he was like feeling unhealthy. Which is what really does lead me to believe like this guy's always had some form of like an eating disorder his entire life in some capacity, no?
Skinny? If you look at him then versus now, you can clearly see his weight gain and him getting fat. He's fat. He's got fat. Nikocado is getting fat. And Nikocado has weight gain and weighing himself on the scale. He is full of drama now and people are saying he's crazy. He's having mental breakdown and lots of fights with Orlin. He is getting divorced. People search Nikocado and Orlin fight because they are fighting and crying. He is always having mental breakdown. He's very crazy and unstable. He hopes people keep making videos to bring awareness to the social experiment. What is happening to innocent, sweet Nick? This was written on January 23rd, 2020. This first mention of a social experiment. There are many reasons why he could be doing this, saying that it's a social experiment. It could be used as a crutch. Very simple.
Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe it's a crutch, or maybe he's using it as an excuse to engage in shit behavior, and just saying like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna act like a fucking idiot and a shitty guy." Because it's just an experiment, dude. It's not, nothing is real. But there's also probably a level of truth to that. I mean, TikTok, or excuse me, YouTube at this time just wasn't particularly real. At least that's my understanding of it. Maybe I'm wrong, but...
Similar to the pranksters that used to be popular back in like 2016, 2017 on YouTube, that used to do these borderline illegal pranks, and then when people got mad at them, they would claim, oh guys, don't worry, it's just a social experiment.
True, it's just a social experiment, guys, don't worry about it.
As far as I can tell from his content on YouTube, this was the first mention of a social experiment. But this wasn't enough to excuse his terrible actions that he would do to take advantage and manipulate his audience later on. As literally anyone would have guessed, his weight gain would come with massive consequences. This is an aspect he couldn't fake, whether this was actually a character or a real person.
I honestly think that there was some kind of fetish shit going on here. Because nobody... I don't know. It seems too inconvenient to me. I mean, I think it has some kind of feeder vibes to it, where he wanted people to look at him eating a lot and, like, I don't know, jack off to it or something. Because he did his OnlyFans. There's no way he was happy gaining the weight. They were both very underweight, and they both gained weight. I don't know, man. I feel like I have a feeling about it.
It didn't matter. The weight was real. That's the only thing people knew was real.
More than a feeling. La, 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 la.
Now, Nikocado would probably frame this as, oh, people just wanted to see my downfall. They hated me. They watched me purely out of hate. But the truth is, most people wanted to see him finally lose weight and stop this lifestyle. And they were hoping that once the health issues
get fatter so I could jerk off to it.
Would start to surface, it would finally be a wake-up call. They were...
Oh. Was it really a wake-up call? Or?
So disappointed to find out that this would be no big deal for Nick. He didn't care. He talked about it in the most nonchalant way possible, almost to the point where he was ridiculing it. As far as I could tell, this was one of the first instances where Nikocado Avocado would tell his audience that he's diabetic. And words...
Yeah, no shit, right? Like...
cannot describe how he took advantage of the situation. You have to watch it yourself. So go ahead, watch.
Oh, by the way, I went to the doctor the other day. I do have diabetes. I know a lot of people were kind of worried for me. They're like, people have been noticing change. So, you know, first of all, there are some signs, my feet tingling, and constantly drinking water. Constantly, like I have been self-proclaimed drinking a gallon of water a day.
Wow. Yeah, those are pretty much, that's pretty much, yeah, true. I've had the same thing because I'm also diabetic.
Click the link below to follow my Patreon. You get
The fucking Patreon.
exclusive.
It's
been the same forever.
Weekly.
This is a real clip. This is unedited. This is actually from the video. He actually is out here with a huge quantity of Popeyes, able to feed an entire family and more, talking about how he has diabetes.
True. I listen. I've been there. I'll tell you one thing, man. This is not a good thing, but I remember I would sit down and watch My 600-Pound Life with like a bucket of Popeyes, not KFC. KFC is mid. Blah, blah. Haven't had it in a while, and I'm just going, oh, at least I'm not that guy sitting there. You know, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, incredible, not really incredible stuff, just tragic. You know, it really got me the GERD. It's hard to eat when you got GERD. So, yeah, okay.
Baiting people who care about his health into watching, and then halfway through him explaining, you see an advertisement for his Patreon. We take a
I don't think it's as deep as you're saying. It's not like he's like, hey guys, by the way, I got diabetes. And it's like, okay. It's not like he's like, guys, I'm fucking dying. He's just like, I got diabetes. And then he puts his Patreon on there. I don't think it's that big of a deal to personally, but okay.
Step back here to really process this.
No.
Imagine anyone else doing this. Imagine Boogie2988 right now going on stream saying, I have diabetes, and then immediately cutting into an advertisement.
Well, Boogie pretended to have cancer for money, so not a very good comparison. These are two very different things, truthfully.
This is how he would take advantage and manipulate his audience, but this is one of the many examples. Even worse, he would start making fun of his condition, making it seem like he was a survivor. Like, look at
okay, that's funny.
This video, what I'm eating as a diabetic survivor, uploaded to his third channel. He would sit
it's just so stupid. This is funny to me.
there and eat a massive, ridiculous amount of food and would label it as him having his diabetic survivor diet.
This is funny to me. What do you mean? This is funny. I don't know. This is just stupid.
It wouldn't be that crazy to suggest that people who cared for him started to hate him, right? He would continue to embellish everything about his personality. He would become louder, crazier, weirder, and the lines between reality and fiction would blur so much that he would quite frankly become a caricature. He'd have these outbursts where he would randomly cry as soon as a piece of food falls, like this right here.
Okay.
We're eating pop.
But this wasn't limited to just him, of course. He would go back to his days of 2017 to 2018 and recycle content in which he would include Orlin in his antics. But this time, just like everything else, he would up the stakes. And it was
yeah, well, that's what happens when you're fat. You eat more steak.
Way more dramatic. There are 3 videos with the title We Broke Up, all of them having the same thumbnails. Here's another 3 with the same idea. Nick crying like an idiot, and even a third one with Orlin on his own YouTube channel saying he's cheating on Nick. Another video of him saying they broke up. Oh, what's this? An entire playlist of them breaking up and fighting? 78 videos? At this point, people had realized that Nick wasn't the only one who was gaining weight. It was also Orlin gaining
yeah, he looks fucking huge.
A lot of weight. The audience had come to the conclusion that these bad habits that Nick had rubbed off on Orlin in a very bad way. This is a significant accusation, right? This is someone's life, their entire health. Their lifespan depends on this. And instead of clearing this up, they only added more fuel to this fire. Now, there are like 20 videos of them breaking up, but in this one, a clip went viral in particular because Orlin said this, and people took it very seriously, worrying for him. Watch.
I keep on fondling with this brightness. I can't be perfect. Yeah, just like you always tell me I'm not perfect. You turn the brightness up. I'm never perfect.
Bro, this is so stupid. I can totally understand why people like this guy. This is so dumb. This is obvious. This is so dumb and it's fake, right? We all know that. This is just silly goosery to me.
You always say that I'm not perfect. I'm never perfect enough.
This
You're
is so fucking
mean.
stupid.
Wow.
This is so dumb. Thank you for the $2 from Bench Motor. Get our truth on stream, bro. If I could, I legitimately would.
I'm never good enough. I even ruined my body.
Oh, this is so fun. This is only funny because I'm pretty sure it's fake. So.
Did I really ruin your life? Yes, you did.
Wow, incredible.
You did. You ruined my life. I'm
so
so
sad,
happy.
That's so sad,
It's
brother.
all their thoughts. Not the food. Stop it. Don't make a mess because then I'll have to clean it.
I mean, what is this? Is this really mukbang at this point? No, this is just a really bad reality TV show.
Well, I mean, it seems kind of good. I mean, we're all watching it. Let's be real. So
The only problem was that there was no disclaimer showing off that this was indeed a reality TV show. When you watch something like Keeping Up with the Kardashians on TV, you already know the cameras are trying to record a specific narrative. The people in there don't really care. This wasn't
I think we could tell that this is absolute bullshit, no?
made by a television channel. There was no disclaimer, no way to know that this is all fiction or acted up. I mean,
Yeah, it's like Jerry Springer, you know?
Even if it was acted up, why the hell would you sit with someone you love and have them act out that you ruined their lives? Why would you be so specific
Stupid.
with what's making you cry? People were very worried for Orlin, especially longtime viewers, because if you guys remember, Nick would sit there and cry when he was skinnier, saying that Orlin had very bad thoughts about taking his life and how he could die at any moment because he had a very rare autoimmune disease. And now you were seeing him crying about not being good enough and having gained a lot of weight. What does that say for longtime viewers? This was getting dangerous.
I don't know. That's all a joke.
And it wasn't even funny anymore. But by this point, people didn't even know what to believe anymore. They had broken up like 30 times. Like, at a certain point, it just gets redundant. Viewers were also tired of being blamed for their mistakes when no one was forcing them to eat this crazy amount of food so often. But others were also concerned, why is Orlin still there if he's so unhappy? This video was in
'Cause Orlin's making that money, baby.
2022. Here's another video, back in 2021, a year before it, where he says the same exact thing. So let's watch.
You're not sorry. You're not sorry. You're never sorry. You don't mean what you say. You're a piece of garbage. You're not sorry. You're not. You ruined my life.
Okay.
You ruined my life. You're not sorry. You're never sorry. You never change.
Word for word, you ruined my life. Crying about it. It was the same.
Yeah, what a pussy, am I right?
Same pattern. But man, it was getting views. 7.8 million. Most YouTubers can only dream of getting half of this on a video. Many thought that this was just a toxic relationship that they were witnessing that could end at any moment. But the more you look into this, the more you understand this is nothing more than a dog shit reality TV show. I mean, come on, explain this title. Screaming at Orlin and being mean to him. Who else can get away with this on YouTube?
Everybody? Black people? I don't know. I see so many crazy things from some people. That was a joke. Stop. But I see some crazy shit where sometimes it's like, oh, I fucking impregnated my daughter's balls. You know, you see crazy shit at 3 a.m. Sonic inflation. You know, it's not I never did that, just to be clear. Not that, at least not a lot. Okay. That was you doing that, guys. It's all you.
I mean, I'm sorry. This only works because they're a gay couple and they're two men. Imagine if Nick was a man and Orlin was a woman. No.
I think it would be fine. I don't know, man.
No one would let this pass. No one would even dare watch the video. Everyone would be reporting it and people would be all over him. Every video made about Nikocado at this point was talking about his health and the fact that he was close to death due to his obesity. No one was mentioning how bad and toxic this relationship was. I mean, look at how uncomfortable these interactions
Bro, don't say sus. You've never seen the videos where there's some young, successful, powerful black creators that make weird-ass videos? I've seen them come up sometimes. They're strange.
Look at this clip right here.
Stop giving yourself projects.
He's just recording him crying. Like, what's the point in all this?
Money, baby.
Well, I have to do my intro and I can't. Go back.
You know, when it comes to commentary, obviously I think that there should be a standard that you try to hold yourself to. You know, but when it comes to this kind of dog shit, mukbang, idiot nonsense, I really don't care very much. You know what I mean? Like, who gives a goddamn?
Intro.
There was no indication that this was a joke, that this was staged, that this was exaggerated. Because again, at this point, the lines were blurred so much between reality and fiction that this was nothing more than a caricature. People didn't see Nick as a human anymore. His eyes were devoid of any emotion. People didn't think that he could feel anything like empathy or sympathy or just basic human emotions anymore. They saw him as a manifestation of both greed and gluttony, incapable of being able to stop himself from stuffing his face every single day while worrying about views and money. And the only person to blame was himself. Regardless, this would go viral. People would be sharing clips and making compilations that would get millions and sometimes tens of millions of views of them fighting, especially where Orlin puts Nick in his place, because in many people's minds, Orlin was the good guy who was dragged into this against his will, and Nick was the villain. Here's an example of a clip.
If you were a food, you would probably
Is this an example of a clip, or is this an actual clip? I'm a little confused.
be like, I don't know, Popeyes?
And I'm trying something I've never had before, which is the bad. Huh? A salad? Huh? Ever since I became a mukbanger, insomnia, sleeping issues, like I'll be up till 7 a.m. sometimes.
Because you can't breathe, because you have sleep apnea, because you're so fat.
It's, yeah.
Now, I really want to emphasize, even though people found this entertaining, they still wanted to see a redemption arc. They still wanted to see them get better and healthy. But it was very hard to keep thinking that way after something that Nick had done that would be crossing the line. Yes, even after all this, he would still cross yet another line, which most people wouldn't even dare to
Concepts of a clip, some would say, yeah, true.
do because of how unethical it is. He would upload a video called I Had a Heart Attack on camera on his second channel, More Nikocado. As you can see, this is the thumbnail, him eating a lot of food, sitting there.
That's my question. Why does he have so many fucking channels? Especially since my understanding is most of them are just the same thing over and over and over again. I don't understand that part.
fatter than he has ever been, all in the effort to make it as dramatic as possible. This made people concerned and want to click on it to see, is this finally going to be his wake-up call? Is he
Yeah, it's called clickbait. Who cares?
finally going to start losing weight since he almost lost his life? Well, as you can guess from the like to dislike ratio, people were very disappointed. One,
Well, they want him to be dead or something? What the fuck?
Orlin? I really need you to get in here. Click the link below.
Is it or? Sorry. That just made me laugh. The fucking click the link below kills me.
Oh, and get yourself a cameo.
This is fucking preposterous.
I'll make a special video just for you. Treat yourself or surprise.
this is not edited. This was real. The guy had baited people who hated him and people who still cared about him after all these years into clicking this video.
I love him. I love it. I love it.
Only for him to shill his cameo. In the middle of his quote-unquote heart attack, he just puts this and just pretends like everything's okay. I ask you this question again. Imagine any other YouTuber does this. Would their head not be on a pike? But with Nikocado, unfortunately, people came to expect this from him. They didn't see him as a human being anymore. The guy was a walking caricature with zero emotions. After the advertisement and Orlin showing up, he explained this in the dumbest way possible. He says that it's probably the peas in this dish and that's why he had chest pain. And then Orlin does whatever the hell he's doing here on his shoulders. I mean, already people were very pissed, saying, please don't say you had a heart attack if you didn't. Stop faking terrible things. It's disgusting. But this wasn't enough. He
This guy, yeah, he literally is the jonkler. I love it. It's kind of funny, honestly.
needed to milk this some more. Are you surprised? Because at this point, I don't think anyone is. On his third channel, he uploaded a video called I Deleted this part from my heart attack on camera. And it was nothing more than him talking about the video, still sat there, this is the same recording, talking about it. And before you know it, within the first minute, here you go again, cameo.com, Nikocado Avocado guys, hey, book me for a little video. Trying to get as
I used to do Cameo. I can't do it anymore. I feel too much like I'm being used, you know? Feels too on command. You know what I'm saying, dude? I feel silly doing it.
much exposure as he can from people who actually cared about him, and then continuing on with his mukbang like nothing had happened. Nikocado would continue to gain more weight, and with his weight came more health problems that he would, of course...
No, you don't get unhealthy when you get big fat and unhealthy. What are you talking about?
...make content out of in the most annoying way possible. At some point, he was diagnosed with sleep apnea, which meant that he couldn't breathe properly while sleeping. The cure for that is to wear a mask while sleeping so that you can
Not really a cure, it's a treatment, just to be clear.
Actually properly breathe and get proper rest. As soon as he can, he would start using this mask in his videos for content, and of course, the videos would be called something like, My New Diet as a Disabled Person. This mask
It's so stupid. It's fucking funny.
would actually start showing up a lot in his videos. For
I could totally see why people would like Nikocado a lot. It's just funny.
shock value, of course. Oh, and let's not forget about his merch store. He would start to have expressions he'd often repeat in videos, such as, I identify as skinny, or it's just water weight, and the merch centered around those.
I think it is just water weight, no?
His disability would reach new heights when he bought a scooter. He would have segments where he rides it before certain mukbang videos and would use the
Really plays up that stuff. I swear to God, there's probably dudes beating their meat to death watching this. This is crazy. I'm not. This is, by the way, this isn't like a self-report. I'm not saying that I would do that. Okay, so knock it off. Thank you for the $5 from Check 282. Hey, Papa and Chat, just heard that Onion won the bid for InfoWars. Just wanted to spread some cheer. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. It's true. They did. They did actually win it, which is actually very funny to me. So
the whole I'm disabled excuse, while calling everyone peasants, of course. At some point while sleeping, he broke his ribs and, of course, proceeded to make a video out of it for content. Nothing, and I
is that actually how it happened? I thought he coughed too hard or something.
mean nothing was off limits when it came to content for Nikocado Avocado. He
Nicholas
would also
Avocado,
play into
stop it.
exactly what his remaining audience wanted to see, like this video, saying how much I weigh now, which was a question on everyone's minds, and yes, he would weigh himself periodically. But he, of course, wouldn't be done trying to use other people for his own content. Back when David Dobrik was at the top of YouTube before his big scandals, Nikocado made this video titled David Dobrik Stole From Me The Truth, Panda Express Mukbang, in which
Our truth.
she expressed that he was supposed to be David Dobrik, that David Dobrik has stolen his future because they look alike.
That's obviously him being very real.
It just doesn't make any sense, but that was the kind of content he was making. He would proceed to make a channel
Yeah, it's like stupid and funny. Like he's just being like absolutely dumb as fuck.
called Nikocado Shorts and would upload the same kinds of shocking comparison videos as to how he used to look and how he looks now, trying
This
to
is all
bait more
porn.
people to watch and interact with his channel by all means necessary. If we're going to talk
This is literally all porn. Holy fuck.
Talk about bait. His TikTok page was probably the biggest bait imaginable. He would put himself in the worst situations ever in order to just get some sort of engagement. Like, no one would actually sit there eating McDonald's the way he was.
I have before. It's so funny. Back in the day, I actually did a pretty big mukbang. I don't know if that sounded racist. Sorry. I did a mukbang, and I took too many of my metformin. This was a time when my diabetes wasn't that bad, and so I got sick. My blood sugar got too low. So that's a little story of a girl who cried a river, and then she died. She drowned in it, and it was a river, so it wouldn't obviously encapsulate the entire world. That would be preposterous for anybody to make that claim. So.
If he wasn't seeking to get some sort of engagement, he knew what he was doing. There is, of course, an ulterior motive here, something way more sinister going at play, but we'll talk about that in the final part of this video. The shocking nature of his content and how weird it was to the average person prompted many bigger creators to start talking about him. Meat Canyon made an animated short of 3 minutes long with 24 million views titled King of Mukbang, which was an entire parody of who Nikocado is, drawing him as the caricature that everyone sees. And honestly, when I look at this, I think, yes, this is the person that appears in Nikocado Avocado's videos. This is meant to be a caricature, but isn't Nikocado a caricature to begin with? Charlie would make a video about him as well with 16 million views, calling it, "This YouTuber is slowly killing himself for views," talking about Nikocado, of course. Nikocado loved the attention so much that he replied to
Yeah, he just kept going and going and going and going because he was making that money. What the hell is this? This is not the typical boss here.
Charlie within 4 hours of him posting his video. It was ridiculous. He was loving this. This is exactly what he wanted. Shortly after Charlie had made his video on him, Nikocado Avocado would come out with his famous 2 steps ahead monologue back when he was still severely overweight, saying that he's always 2 steps ahead.
All right, listen. When you say that he was severely overweight, he wasn't that fat. He's big. Severely? Are you saying I have a problem? Because I do.
That this was the greatest social experiment he had ever done in his life, and that everyone watching him was nothing but just a bunch of ants that wanted entertainment so badly that only he could provide.
True.
To many, this signaled a sign that many people missed, like, oh my god, this was him hinting that he was going to lose weight one day, that this was nothing more than just a social experiment. Well, not really. There are a couple reasons to believe that this was never premeditated. It was just that at one point, while losing weight, it just became convenient for Nikocado to look back and think, wait, maybe I can tie it back together to the old video. One of those reasons is this. Atozi found a now privated video that was uploaded on Nikocado Avocado's Twitter, in which he was calling out the people calling his monologue of foreshadowing stupid. Watch.
I'm having a bad day. Hi, internet world. It's me, Nikocado Avocado. And let me tell you why I'm upset. It's actually your fault. Last month, YouTube video, and I said, I'm 2 steps ahead. My life on the internet is a big social experiment. And what was the result of making that video? Y'all believed it. You freaking believed it. Someone made a TikTok that got 57 million views. That says, Nikocado breaks character.
You cannot say that fast. It makes me uncomfortable.
I saw another one today, had 13 million views. Nikacado's played us all, he's an evil genius. Oh my god. I literally typed that out. It's not even real. Does it look like I actually acted out gaining 250 pounds? Gaining 250 pounds? I just acted out. This is all just an act. Let me just rip off my fat suit. I can't believe my eyes. Uneducated and just easily tricked people are. This is so ironic that wasn't even real. Gaining weight for clicks and to fool people? Oh, trust me.
See, this is what I thought I saw. That he was being a silly guy. Some people would say he was just being kind of a silly guy about it.
You don't mean that much. I don't care about you that much. I really don't. I'm going to waste 6 years of my life gaining weight to entertain you. I don't think so. He breaks character. We've all been played by this evil genius. Oh my god. I literally typed up a Batman monologue and read it on camera. I'm scared for society, actually. Y'all need to go to school. Learn something. Think outside the box. Don't believe everything you're told, including from me. And yet y'all believe it. That's actually scary.
True. He got us all, guys. He got us all. So I didn't really believe it, by the way. I actually don't remember what I thought because it was such a non-issue, but it was funny and stupid, and I enjoyed watching it.
Did he make this video because he was too scared at the fact that too many people were catching on? He completely underestimated his audience because he truly saw them as ants? Or did he make it because he meant it? We will never know. That's the whole point. He's
just a fucking memester.
Always blurs reality with fiction. There's nothing that comes out of his mouth that's believable. Nothing. Not a single thing. He started his career as being an honest YouTuber. Now we genuinely don't know anything about him, and we will never know. But as you saw, this is one of the reasons why people think that he was just winging it, that this was never a foreshadowing or a genius plan. The second reason is this article I read in the intro of this video by Mel Magazine called Who is the Real Nick Avocado? where he would go on to say that it's all completely scripted. There's a lot of interesting things in this article. Let's go through it. Before we parse fact from fiction, we have to go back to the beginning. In my interview with Perry, he describes his early mukbangs as a big fuck you to the vegan.
His name is Perry? What an asshole.
YouTube community where he got to start making videos like the 10,000 calorie avocado challenge. When he left veganism in 2017, his audience was outraged. Most people who watched my channel were vegan, and they thought I was being immoral and unethical when I started eating meat, Perry tells me. So mukbang was kind of a middle finger, as in I don't owe anything to these internet strangers. Better still, Perry realized he could turn that outrage into cold hard cash as he filmed himself eating fast food like McDonald's for the first time in years. Their hate caused the videos to spread, which gave me a huge boost and sent a lot of traffic to my channel, he explains. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Ever since, Perry has continued to learn how to use conflict as currency. In 2019, fellow mukbanger Stephanie Soo accused him of emotional manipulation during a collaboration video, posting videos like Why I'm Scared of Nikocado Avocado and How Nikocado Manipulated All of Us to YouTube. At the time, Soo raised the alarm after Perry encouraged her to gossip about another YouTuber. Perry tells me, however, that the entire feud was orchestrated to benefit both his career and Soo's. I reached up to Soo for comment but didn't receive a reply. We both knew that this would be the best thing for our careers, he says. Both of us got our names further out there than we ever thought possible. He describes the debacle as an opportunity to add onto his role as the villain, although he adds that he and Soo are no longer on speaking terms. I've taken the path of a train wreck because I know that's what sells, he says. That's what keeps people's attention.
Yeah, I feel like we've all known, and now this is the interesting thing. Is like back then, it was like kayfabe. I know I'm making R-truth jokes, but it was kind of true. Like back then, there was like a kayfabe to it. You didn't really want to admit that it was all fake. But as time goes on, you can be a little more comfortable admitting what is and isn't like real, what isn't fake. And now he's like, yeah, it was all fake, and we'll still watch it though. Like that's the beauty of this type of content. It's like we could still have fun and watch this kind of like ridiculous nonsense.
They like the shit show. I'm willing to be that villain because I know it will keep people talking. To that end, there's an entire cottage industry devoted to Nick Avocado cringe compilations. So of course you have two major bombshells in this article that was written exactly 3 years before his massive weight loss reveal back in 2021. The first one was him acknowledging this was nothing more than a character. And the second one being that the whole feud between him and Stephanie Soo was fake. It was staged. But here's the issue. I don't think what happened with Stephanie Soo was staged. Things just don't add up. Even before meeting Nick, Stephanie Soo was very successful, and she still is today. She runs a channel where she talks about some of the craziest crimes against humanity committed by other humans, called Rotten Mango, and she of course has her personal channel where she uploaded mukbangs, and she has a third channel where she uploads vlogs. I don't think she needed this outrage to be able to make these things happen. Additionally, her audience is very different.
Maybe she did, or maybe he's just trying to insert himself into more controversy with some other named character. Who knows?
Stephanie Soo is known to be honest. If she were to lie, especially on such a large scale, her entire career would be over. There's only one Nikocado Avocado. There's only one person who can fake a heart attack, peddle their Patreon, and still have a career. She definitely doesn't fall in this category. There are other things that make this hard to believe as well. The way he prompted all his friends to start saying the phrase in and out of sleeping. The fact that someone like Zach Choi had to participate in this drama by sharing his text messages, even though he hates drama and avoids it at all times.
Or maybe he's just trying to say that to try to get rid of some of the criticism people have been giving him hate for that situation. I don't know.
Hey, listen, he didn't.
Or maybe it doesn't matter because we're having fun with Nikocado. Avocado.
Not need the growth. Look at his sub count. He has more subs on his channel than all of Nick's channels and all of Stephanie's channels combined. So why is this so significant? Well, it's simple. If he's lying about this, then what's to tell me that he's saying any truths in this entire article? How far will he take this character to lie in an article?
Or maybe he's telling the truth and you just don't want to believe it. And he can tell the truth because nobody will believe it, and it'll protect those people.
As well in an interview with a magazine. I mean, is it really that hard to believe that he would do something like this? As I mentioned already, it's very hard to believe anything that comes out of his mouth. And I think even to this day, after all the weight loss, most...
Well, if you don't believe what comes out of his mouth, wait until you see what goes in it. For $10.99 a month on OnlyFriends.com.
People still don't know the real truth behind Nikocado Avocado. The real unsettling truth behind his entire persona and why he continued doing the things he did for years before finally losing his weight. The truth of the matter was that YouTube was on the bottom list of his priorities. He couldn't care less. Mukbang wasn't even his priority anymore. But at the same time, he wasn't even making proper money from YouTube because most of his content was being demonetized, especially after the adpocalypse.
Then that shit was wild, dude.
Of course, you'd think, well, Mugen, why was he going through all this effort? Why was he uploading almost every single day? Why was he...
For awareness, for people to go watch his porn. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be about his OnlyFans. Come on.
Making so much content. Well, it's simple. His YouTube channel was nothing more than a front, was nothing more than a way to recruit very specific people with deep pockets to none other than his adult content.
Papa God, you did it again. You called it. the stars. Incredible stuff. How the fuck did I know? I knew it. I knew it was some kind of weird porn thing, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
If you were to go to Nikocado Avocado's Patreon, or even his privated Twitter account, you would see something glaring at you in both.
Probably his wiener.
This must be age 18 or older to follow this account. Patreon, all tiers are the same. Must be age 18 or older. But why? What's going on exactly? I thought you just ate food and was a fat, funny person. Well, you know, there's a lot.
Oh, you thought it was funny?
A lot of people finding out about Nikocado Avocado recently, especially after the weight loss, and a lot of people actually don't know that he has an OF account.
Oh, I know. I knew. Well, when I say it like that, it makes me seem like I jerk off to it, and I did not a second time, because it wasn't that good. Incredible.
And again, you see, must be at least 18 years of age. Now, his OF page is really interesting because it's never ever mentioned on YouTube. This is normal because it goes against YouTube's terms of service. You can't link any adult websites on YouTube. And yet, it was so extremely successful. And if you're an average person watching this video, you would be probably very confused.
Well, unironically, I'm not a gay dude, but like if I saw a hot person or somebody I thought was hot on YouTube or something, I'd probably be like, oh, let me see if I can find this person on, you know, or maybe it's on their Twitter or something. There's something. They might, dude. Is Peace still in the chat?
Who the hell would pay $15 a month to see this man naked? Well, it's so much more complicated than that. To really understand, we have to go back.
A lot of guys. A lot of guys.
All the way to.
Guys are fucking disgusting. Okay? Guys are degenerates. That's the reality. Let's just be real. I know, I'm a guy.
2017. Remember this video? I told you it was going to be important later. It's titled, I'm Getting Fat and I Don't Know Why. And the description is also kind of weird. Let's read. I've gained so much weight. How much weight can you gain in a day? How much weight can you gain in a week? I don't know the answer to these questions.
It's like a fucking Dr. Seuss novel.
It hasn't been enough worth mentioning. A few pounds here or there, so what? But now, it's hit me hard. I'm getting fat, and I don't even know why. My diet has been the same for the past 3.5 months, but the weight didn't come on until this week. What's the reason for this? Stress? Please help. I have no idea of what to do about this. Where do I even begin? I don't want to go back to ground zero with the whole vegan thing. It's my belief that vegan diets long-term are terrible for the brain. Thanks for the help. Now, of course, you'd read this at first and think, oh, just typical shocking content. He doesn't actually care. But there's more to this, and there are multiple possibilities here. Let's talk about them. The first possibility is that he uploaded this knowing full well what it's going to do and what it means. The second possibility is that Orlin encouraged him to do this because he was into it. The third possibility was that
I think that that's a big part of it. Orlin's probably into it.
He had no idea what this would do and only found out afterwards. What am I talking about? Fat fetishism. A sexual attraction directed towards overweight or obese people due primarily to their weight and size. Now, typically, this is associated with a couple of words.
Not just that, I think it's feederism as well.
A feeder or a gainer. A feeder is someone who encourages someone else to get weight, and it really is a very pleasurable thing for them. While a gainer...
Yeah, and it's one of those things where like they look at the person like, you're fucking disgusting. Like, that's how they feel. They legitimately think of you as like less than and absolutely disgusting. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Loves being encouraged to gain weight and just loves the whole aspect of gaining weight, and again, it's very pleasurable to them. If a gainer were to watch a video like this, especially with the angles that he was using, I mean, look at the most replayed right here, right? Like, especially with these angles, they would be very much into
This guy sounds like he knows.
it, let's just say. But why?
Let's just say. You're into it, dude. I get it, okay?
Well, let's go to a gainer community, the one on
let's just say
Reddit. The most upvoted posts are progress pictures, are comparisons of how people used to look and how they look now. From skinny to fat. That is their favorite thing. One of the most fundamentally pleasurable aspects of being a gainer / feeder. There's a post right here, one of the most upvoted on the subreddit, titled, "What's happening to me?" says the person, shocked. And in the pictures, on the left, you can see someone very skinny, and on the right, someone almost as obese.
You know, I can't see anything. Can you please allow me to see the picture? This might be something interesting for me to get into.
As Nikocado Avocado at his peak. Why are people upvoting this? What is so special about this? Well, that's the whole point. This right here is one of the hottest things for someone who is into this. Someone going from skinny to extremely fat and not understanding, not realizing why they're gaining it so quickly. Losing control to the point where they don't even realize that they are gaining weight at an alarming level. And I mean, the comments explain themselves, right? First one says, "So hot, I need to encourage you." Damn, that's really impressive. Damn, someone ballooned. I'll tell you what, keep at it.
Damn, someone ballooned.
Oh my god, congrats and mad respect. Interesting.
Respect, holy moly.
Nikocado had uploaded 2 videos in rapid succession about his weight back in 2017, but wouldn't mention his weight that much afterwards. His videos would be mostly centered around him and Orlin, their relationship and how toxic and crazy it is, around the food and his mental health. He would make clickbaity videos about his kidneys, about diabetes, about his health, but it wouldn't be as blatant about him gaining weight. He would then somewhat mention it again after a year, saying that he's looking weird with his double chin, he's so ugly, etc., but he wasn't committing to it. He was only sprinkling it here and there. The theory might be that he had a sugar daddy that really enjoyed this, or maybe Orlin himself enjoyed this and was encouraging him to do it.
Maybe Orlin is the sugar daddy. We'll never know.
Would pass by, and again, he was doing shocking content involving him and his husband and how bad their relationship is. The massive turning point was the mukbang drama arc, when he was actually going up against other creators like Veronica Wang and Trisha Paytas. You see, up until this point,
it's not funny, guys. It's not funny.
He was kind of winging it, having an idea of what he wanted to be or what he wanted to do. But when this happened, it changed things. He thought, wait, maybe I can
You're being immature. Stop.
Be some sort of hero for the common folk. Maybe I can actually be loved instead of hated. Maybe that's not the only answer.
There goes my
And that's exactly what he did, and it worked out splendidly until the Stephanie Soo incident happened, when he had realized that, yeah, this is not going to work out. I clearly can't be a good guy, especially not after this incident. My reputation is gone. So I'm going to commit to being a villain, but more importantly, I'm going to commit to being an adult content creator. And that's when right after this, he would upload a video, Nikocado Avocado, what happened to you? And then another video titled Nikocado Avocado Then versus Now. This to me is him fully committing to the adult content objective.
Probably, yeah, sure.
This video right here reminded people of how skinny and healthy he used to be being on a vegan diet. The video afterwards that we watched reminded everyone that, oh, they used to be a very healthy, happy couple.
I don't think that they were necessarily healthy. They probably are still happy, even though they're playing this up. I don't think that they were necessarily healthy, though. I think that like that's probably why he was talking about how it was bad for the brain being vegan. I also think that like he had an issue with his eating, where it was making him legitimately unhealthy. Like I don't necessarily think it was healthy back then just because he's skinny. I'm not trying to be all fucking like woke about it, but I've seen him talk about it a few different times. So
on a vegan diet, and now look at them. They're very fat and they're losing control. You know who would consider this really hot? A gainer, a feeder. Because how is this?
How do you know?
Any different than what we were seeing on the Reddit? How is this any different from someone showing a before and after picture? Except here, this is on a way more personal level. You're not only seeing this man's body change, but you're seeing his personal life change, his
Dude, you're being way too artistic about this. I think you're actually getting horny.
relationships, his entire surroundings.
I honestly think that this guy's getting super horny right now.
Change based on him not able
or
to
maybe we're getting horny. I don't know.
Control his food intake. If you really think about it, Nikocado Avocado's entire channel is an archive of how healthy he used to be, how skinny he used to be, and how he gained weight slowly but surely because he kept gorging his mouth with huge amounts of food without being able to control himself. There is nothing hotter for someone who is into this. There is nothing that can compare on the entire internet. Nick had effectively found a niche. And instead of just contributing to this niche, he became someone who could supply that niche with content they would have never even thought possible. Not only was he everything that they could have ever wanted, he gave them things that they did.
Wait, didn't he always plug his Patreon in his videos though? This guy, it wasn't a big deal, but before this guy said something along the lines of like, "Oh, you can't plug your dirtiness on whatever on social media," but he plugs his Patreon in like every single video. No, isn't that like a huge part of it?
Didn't even think was even.
He might be. Well, you know what? I think it's one of those things where, you know how they've talked about how like FBI agents that are responsible for, you know, getting rid of really bad guys that take advantage of kids, and sometimes they have to watch through the images, and then it distresses them, makes them upset. And I heard about one guy who started getting into it, and so this guy is basically that. He got exposed to this so much he has uncontrollable penile boners every single time, all the time. I think that's what happened. I think his dingle is just exploding. It's ready to burst.
Possible. He was making their wildest dreams and fantasies come true. And after 2020, he made this very obvious. Look at this video right here. I'm getting fat and I don't know why. Done yet again, but this time in 2020.
I don't know why.
The video starts off at a very interesting angle. He's really emphasizing the size of his belly, and then yet again brings the camera back down to his pelvis. He had this thing where he would deliberately wear shirts that were smaller sizes to show his
You can't directly plug an adult website on YouTube. Patreon isn't dirty. That's true. Well, let's just be clear. Patreon is a dirty site. Just to be absolutely clear. I just want people to be clear with that. Like you can use it as a dirty site is the point that I'm making. You don't have to, but you can. You just can't. It's the rules are very strange. Like you can put like that type of content on there, but it can't be. It has to be quote unquote artistic in nature. It's very strange.
Belly protruding. He would also touch it a lot, jiggle it a lot. And guys, listen, I'm really sorry for this because I know most of you just found this goofy, funny, but in reality, it's not. This is softcore adult content specifically made for people who like this, the gainers and the feeders. This is
the gamers
thing that they find really hot. This might seem like a funny video to you, but in reality, this is going to make someone immediately see if he does any sort of adult content because they find this to be very attractive. The same with this. You're witnessing someone who used to be a vegan lose complete control over food and he just simply cannot stop eating. Look at how big he got. That's very hot to them. I think it's safe to say...
Dude, I don't know what's going on here, but you're making me a little uncomfortable here with how much you're talking about this. Holy fuck.
Say that anything you might have found funny was actually nothing more than a way to recruit more people to his OF once they realize that they're into it. This video that I've already shown you of how he used to be and how he is now, what do you think this is? It's not meant to be a sad story, it's meant to be a showcase of what you'll be finding on his OF account. Look at one of the comments that he wrote on his own TikTok. I'm crying. What did I do to my body? How did this happen? I tried so hard to eat vegetables and count my calories, but my body hates me. Again, this to me just sounds like a gainer/feeder fantasy. Here's what's really interesting. On the Gainers subreddit, there was someone who had posted, from a non-gainer, could this Nikocado avocado theory be plausible? This...
Are you telling me a non-gainer is on the gaining subreddit?
Links to a video from one of the only YouTubers I've ever seen talk about it, which is Your Movie Sucks. In it, he talks about something similar to this.
Fuck is that?
That the entirety of Nikocado avocado was...
No, it doesn't!
...made specifically for adult content, catered to a specific niche. The top comment says he's not a...
He is absolutely jorking his peanuts so hard right now. I could tell, because I am too.
...secret gainer. He's an actual gainer. He maintains an account in a gaming site, and his videos are where he plays his mukbang character. Then goes on to say he was verified by the owners of the app/company as they don't allow fakers and posers, and there are photos that...
What's wrong with faker? Goat, am I right, guys? The faker? The greatest of all time? What the fuck?
...cannot be found elsewhere. There's someone else with a deleted account that confirms this as well. So, I went ahead and sent a private message on Reddit to that top commenter, the one who said that Nikocado avocado was present on an app/website for gainers where he was posting content you didn't find elsewhere. And this is where things...
I mean, Nick, yeah, as weird this whole thing is, he did a good job with his content strategy. I mean, he was able to get through the demonetization, whatever they call it, the cuckening. I don't even remember what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. The fappening? What's the big demonetization thing? What am I trying to think of? What am I saying? Adpocalypse. Incredible.
Get really interesting. I told this user who I was, the fact that I'm making a video about Nikocado avocado, and that I'd like to just know what the app is for further research. After
of course, research.
5 days, he finally replies to me, but there was only one message, and it was a GIF. It said, I don't understand the question, and I won't respond to it. As soon as I saw this GIF, I understood immediately what it meant. He had immediately deleted every single comment he had left in that thread. To me, this only confirms that this is true. There is an app made specifically for gainers and feeders, and Nikocado avocado has a verified account there. When this user saw that an outsider was interested in this, he didn't want his community to be shown in a bad light, so he immediately backtracked and deleted all info. Of course, I could still be wrong, but I'm fully convinced, especially after this interaction, that Nikocado avocado knew exactly what he was doing. Now look, gainers and feeders are not necessarily these self-destructive deviants that like to watch other human beings suffer for content or pleasure. Most of them
I would say most of them hate fat people and want them to be, like, honestly, I think that most of them are like legitimately have no they don't care about the person that they're jorking it to. Like, I unironically believe that they're like, oh, this person's disgusting. Like, haha, look at what they're doing to themselves. I think that's most feeders. That's what I would say.
Actually partake in what they like with fictional characters, drawings, 3D animations, and typically have a rule to never involve real human beings.
Well, if that's the case for those people, sure, but
still, it was really hard to ignore what Nikocado avocado was doing because it was just too hot. It was literally everything they could have ever...
Oh, I told you! What did I tell you? He's gooning.
Wanted in a fantasy, and they weren't forcing him to do it, he was doing it to himself. But yeah, it's a really fucking weird thing to be into, alright? Like, I'm just gonna say it. 6 years ago, Nikocado avocado had posted this in his community posts on YouTube, saying, hey sloth fam, this is what he used to call his community before calling them ants and peasants. Look.
Sloth fam? What? Why?
I found this old photo of me when I was in New York City working as a freelance violinist back 6 to 7 years ago. I was a freshman in college, 19 years old.
Freshman.
Look how skinny I was. And that necktie blowing in the wind. Girl, I thought it was so cool.
People probably jerking off to this too. They're probably like, wow, I used to be so fucking skinny, I'm gonna come.
Cool. If you guys have any more violin song suggestions for me, comment them down below right now. What should I play next? He knew what he was doing, even 6 years ago. This brings us back to the Mel magazine article. Nick would say that him and Orlin have gotten better and better at faking food fights, cheating, meltdowns, breakups, etc. It doesn't stem from anything that reflects our relationship in real life. We learned very early on in our careers that drama is the #1 seller on YouTube. That's the most effective way to put yourself out there, and it's worked. Which brings us...
He's not wrong, so...
to the next part of the interview, in which Nick reveals that Orlin was the one who came up with the idea for an OF account.
I wouldn't doubt it.
So Orlin not only told Nick to make a YouTube channel, he was the one to tell him to make an OF account as well. Is he the mastermind behind this? It's funny because people would think he was the victim in these fights, but it was all staged. Or was it? We don't know. Because how can
I mean, isn't this telling us that it is?
we believe a single thing this caricature has to say? So this theory of Orlin being
I think it's safe to say that it's fake.
a feeder and Nick being the gainer isn't really that far-fetched. And obviously, it's been a massive
Well, they're both gaining weight, so I imagine it's not just one of them. It would be both of them.
success. Nick's OF, according to him in his bio, is an
Or maybe they might, neither of them may be feeders. They might be, it might be more for content, and they're just like, oh, I know this is a big market. Like, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe Orlin, I don't know. They're probably a big feeder thing inside of whatever community they're part of.
the top 0.14% of creators. Yes.
Holy shit, he's fucking... His empire is huge. Nikocado is more accomplished than any of us realized. How does that make you feel? How does it make you feel that Nikocado is more accomplished than you? One of the top nth of a percent of gooners on OnlyFans. How much money is that?
Yes, I read that right. 0.14. Now do me a favor, close your eyes. Imagine all the hot men and women on this goddamn website. And
dude, this guy's a gooner. I know it. I know he's a gooner.
now imagine how this dude is
I know he's a gooner.
making more money than most of them. Oh yeah, I know. I know. It's crazy. There are
Are you saying he's not hot, dude? What the hell? Thank you for $5 from Willow Amnesty. Someone on my Facebook just spread their mother's ashes at White Castle. They drove 10 hours, wholesome, I suppose. Made me think of you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like White Castle. I just don't go because it's so, it gives me such bad fucking heartburn, you know?
videos reacting to his OF content, and let me tell you, they're not happy
Is mine on there? Mine's not on there.
about it. As you can see, the reactions are wonderful. They're very much into it.
I know that you looked at it, dude. You don't have to pretend that you didn't jork your peanuts to this hard as fuck.
There was actually one picture from this OnlyFans that I unfortunately saw because it was circulating everywhere in the internet as a shocker, and it was pretty much Nick on all fours sitting there, okay, taken from the back, and what you could see was his blown out ass.
Yeah, I saw that picture too. It was fine. He has kind of a nice. He has a nice asshole. I'll give him credit for that. Okay, I'll give him credit for that. He has a nice anus. What am I saying? Okay.
After Orlin had done giving him backshots, okay, it's honestly one of the nastiest things. I can literally, when I close my eyes, I can see it. It's one of the.
I find it so weird because, like, on all the jokes aside, I'm not like gay. I didn't find it attractive when I saw it. But this guy's like, it was so disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. It's like, relax. Like, it's okay. Like, you can just be like, yeah, it's kind of gross. Like, it's not, but it's not that big of a deal. These guys make it like, guys, just so you know, I didn't think it was good at all. It was so nasty. Ew, never show me that again. Relax, dude. Your energy makes me think that you like it. Okay? You can't hide from me, man. You can't hide it from me, buddy.
Nastiest things I've ever seen in my life. This is like my Vietnam flashback. So that was also a way for him to
It's like Vietnam? Come on, relax.
advertise his OF. You don't necessarily see something go so viral from that website. You know, this is definitely a very unique case.
I do all the time. I'm looking for it.
After the OF's massive success, Nikocado would upload this video titled, "My New House Tour, I bought a $2.3 million penthouse in Las Vegas."
I doubt it. I'm sure he has a lot of money, but that would be crazy to buy that. I mean, maybe he did. You know what? Maybe he did. Maybe he's getting that much money from this shit.
This was his crowning achievement. He had
What if Nikocado Avocado was a femboy? I guess he couldn't do feeding then. Can you be fat femboy? Is that legal? I don't even know.
destroyed his body for years, made a fool of himself, tricked people, manipulated them, ruined lives, all for the sake of getting more traction to his OF account and buying.
Whose life did he really ruin? Like, I don't think that it's that deceptive. I mean, like, he was kind of mean to a couple Asians. Like, it's not that big of a fucking deal. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but, like, who the fuck's life did he ruin? I don't think it's that deep, man.
Buying this penthouse, becoming financially very comfortable.
You know, I sit up here in my tower and watch everyone struggle and be poor. It's so entertaining. I love watching poor people. They struggle. Oh, I just need popcorn. I could sit here and watch them struggle all day. So up here in my tower.
What a nice guy.
Because I'm so rich.
You know, when he says stuff like this, and he looks like that, you can't take it very seriously. This goes back to when Stephanie Soo was saying that she was scared for her life because of him, and then you saw this. It's like, really? This is what you're scared of right here? But then you look at this, and now he's calling everyone ants, how he's behaving, now that he's skinny.
None of this is scary, just to be clear. I don't think anybody's ever actually scared. I think they're all playing like a drama game with each other.
And you can actually take him seriously, and all of a sudden, I understand what Stephanie was seeing in him. I don't know who this man is. And I'm starting to believe
I think it's Lex Lugie, you know?
he doesn't either. Who is Nicholas Perry? Who the hell knows? In any case, He finally uploaded this video called 2 Steps Ahead very recently in September 2024. In it, he says that he was 2 steps ahead, that while everyone was calling him fat and irrelevant the day before, he is now back, and he has lost all his weight, saying that it has been the craziest social experiment of his entire life. He uploaded the video one day after Sunny V2 had uploaded Nikocado's new video is honestly just depressing, in
It's kind of a smack in the face to him. It's funny.
which he sat there, super fat, saying I've ruined my whole life. It was a video uploaded months ago, right? So fairly old. And around the same time that Sunny V2 uploaded his video, iNabber uploaded a 7-hour, yes, 7 whole hours.
Damn, iNabber. What the hell are you doing, bud? Should I have reacted to the iNabber's 7-hour video? Like, what the fuck? There's no way. I don't think I have 7 hours in me to do that.
Documentary of Nikocado Avocado.
It sounds like he wanted to get back at people. That's it. The people that would like make videos about him and be mean to him or something. Like, I know he was feeding into it, so he's like, you know what, fuck it. And then he decided to make up this like fake narrative. That's totally not true. I feel like it's not true at all.
The stars aligned for Nicholas Berry like it was a prophecy. He waited for the perfect moment and uploaded it, making both videos become outdated in the span of 24 hours. Was he really 2 steps ahead when it came to the weight loss? No, I think he winged it. I think it was part of his plan to lose weight, but this whole 2 steps ahead monologue was just a happy coincidence. Many people were trying to discredit his weight loss, saying that he had just used Ozempic and got the easy way out.
Who cares? Honestly, I'm so over the whole like, oh, Ozempic is the easy way out. First of all, if you're diabetic, I would say that's like the most justifiable reason to go on Ozempic. No, you're diabetic. That's number one. Number two, like I'm on Mounjaro. It's basically Ozempic, and I have diabetes, right? So it's helping me lower my A1C. It's down to 6.6. That's great. But if you're taking it, like I get the argument of like, oh, if you take it, there's less stuff for people who actually need it. But sure, maybe. I mean, produce more. I don't know what else to tell you. I feel like people only have so much fat. Sorry, I have a lot of it. What I meant to say is I feel like people have only so much capacity to lose weight or to do anything in life. You only have so much stress that you can handle in your life. And if you're waking up and you're going to work and you're doing a good job at work, maybe working 8, 10, 12 hours a day, and you got, your parents that you got to maybe hang out with or take care of, and then you got like a wife or a husband, and then you got kids, and then you have all these different life stressors that are stacking up. It can be tough to also try to track your calories or you know what I mean? So, if you need a little Ozempic, I don't give a shit, I don't think it discredits your entire existence because you want to try to lose weight and you just don't have the energy to do it. Because it can be hard, to track your calories and do all that. It's simple, but it's hard. So if you're on Ozempic, you know what? Whatever. I don't give a shit. I'm not crying about it.
Now, yes, Ozempic does help a lot, but it's not going to make you lose 250 pounds exclusively by itself.
Yes, it will. I don't know what you're talking about. Just to be absolutely clear, yes, it will. I don't know if you guys know what it does. It makes it easier to lose weight. But when it like paralyzes your stomach, makes things run through your body slower. I'm on the bare minimum dose and I've lost like 15 pounds and I've put like no effort into losing weight. So if you ramp up, like you can imagine how much weight that you can like legitimately lose. It makes it so you don't really feel hungry. So yes, you can lose. And I don't think he lost 250 pounds, but it can help you lose weight. Yes.
You still have to put in a lot of hard work.
Not really. The only thing you really want to make sure is that you eat more a higher protein diet so you maintain your muscle, because you're going to lose weight so fast that you could fuck yourself over and like deteriorate your muscle.
So it's pointless to say this. But how the hell did he manage to do it? You've no doubt seen some people talking about it. It turned out that he had a huge backlog of videos and was uploading them as he was losing weight over the span of 2 years. But while
Yeah, it's a hunger suppressant. Yeah, because like your food is in your stomach. It like stays in your stomach, so it takes longer for the process, and that's what suppresses your hunger.
Melted a lot of fat over these last 2 years, it doesn't mean that he melted all the ugly aspects of his personality that he displayed for years.
I feel like once you lose weight, you get even worse. Isn't that funny?
Excusing it as some social experiment, like a prankster from 2016. What I do think, though, is that he was 2 steps ahead in
I don't know, man. This video kind of makes me like Nikocado. Being real.
Another way. He was 2 steps ahead in regards to his adult content. Very few people even...
Or like 2 cocks ahead in his ass. I don't know. That didn't really flow. 2 mouths ahead. I don't know. 2 heads a mouth. He's sucking dick. He's gay. I don't know. That's it. It's not even. That's it.
Even thought of this being a possibility, and I genuinely think this is the truth. He was so ahead of everyone when it came to this that no one really understood it. No one really thought it a possibility. Everyone was focused on the fact that this guy was killing himself for YouTube views, when this wasn't even a part of the equation. Nikocado Avocado was more of a sex worker than he ever was a mukbanger. And that's the truth. Now what happens next? Well, he loves attention, he loves fame, we know that much. He'll probably do normal videos. Who knows? Many people who still believed the fact that him and Orlin had a lot of relationship issues think that Orlin had left him. I don't think so. I think they're still together. But
Probably.
Nicholas Perry is
Sorry, I mean, you're not missing anything here. Sorry. I'm being a little stupid.
a very smart guy when it comes to YouTube, views, and in general,
He's probably got mad money too, dude. They're probably living lav.
videos. From any YouTuber's standpoint, it would be so
P, I have a question. Are they making Dead Minds a Mythic Plus?
stupid to make your big reveal with Orlin. He milked the fact that he lost a lot of weight. Expect another video on his Nikocado Avocado channel with him and Orlin both having lost weight. Acting all happy, like nothing had happened, like this was genuinely all a bad dream that they just woke up from. And that video will also break the internet. Overall, Nikocado Avocado's story is something very unique, something that has never really been done at this scale on YouTube. But the dark secret behind it all is that halfway through, it wasn't—
I mean, what I'm hearing is that Nikocado Avocado is one of the most successful content creators I've ever seen in my entire life. Impressively successful.
even about mukbang anymore, and it wasn't even about YouTube. During all those years, though, he was a roller coaster, a mess that had endangered other YouTubers' careers, that had put others in shitty situations, and that had manipulated his viewers to care about him, to actually worry about him, only to tell them, I don't give a single shit.
Ooh.
I personally am, as well as many others, very curious about what the future holds for him, but for now, all we can do is wait.
Maybe if he did give a shit, I would play for the OF, you know what I'm saying?
Wait for his next video, which will most likely involve Orlin. Thank you so much for watching this video, especially till the end. You're a real one. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video, whenever that is. I'm definitely taking a break after this one, though. Mwah!
All right. That's a pretty good video, honestly. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It's fun stuff.